Burlington, Philadelphia. A Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Good morning. Thought I'd help you wake up.
It's 6 a.m. and you're listening to The John Kincade Show, Philadelphia's longest-running sports talk morning show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Let the party begin!
The show starts now.
Merry Christmas to you. Christmas in July edition of The John Kincade Show. 97.5 thefanatic.com. You got 5 months, Bob. And at this time, all the presents better be under the tree. Better be ready to go. Have that coffee made by 8. What time do the Coonies open up presents? 8, 9 o'clock?
Yeah, they the older they get, the later it gets. Our son Tommy gets excited for it, so he might start stirring around 7.
Getting everybody wanting to get up.
So yeah, we have everything on.
They all sleep in the same room that night, right? Or do they not do that anymore?
It's waning because, people are,
right.
Yeah, but they did do that for years. All 4 of them would get into a room and take in mattresses and stuff like that and close the door. And
that's an awesome tradition.
Yeah, that was cool.
That is a fantastic tradition. Pat, this will be Santa will have 2 kids he's coming for in that house.
Yes and no.
Get that chimney cleared.
No, it's Jack, because Riley's not going to be old enough to know who Santa is, so I'm not.
You still gotta have presents under the tree.
Do you remember what you got your first Christmas?
I was 2 days old.
Okay, do you remember? I didn't ask that.
There.
That wasn't the. No, that wasn't the question.
Do I remember?
Do you remember?
No, you don't remember your first.
Cooney, you remember your first Christmas?
You don't remember your second Christmas.
You don't remember it exactly.
But you still need to make sure Santa takes care of all the business.
Pat. There's pictures.
Nope, there's other kids. Santa, worry about those other kids.
Liv was 6 days old for her first Christmas, and I was 2 days old for my first Christmas. So it's sometimes it's a bit of a problem. It's Christmas in July, though. Maybe we can have a little fun today, thanks to Bradford White Water Heaters, the 6 o'clock hour. Bradford White is here for the pro. One thing is clear. The Phillies didn't lose last night because of their 5th starter. Christopher Sanchez, see, I got it right first time, Pat. Christopher Sanchez with a fine effort last night against one of the better lineups in baseball. And what do they find? They find once again this offense is putrid. But it all started around 4:30, Bob, when I saw the lineup. And that's where the anger set in. I've said it before. Rob Thompson or the Phillies organization, depending on whoever you say is making out the lineup, there's no sense of urgency at all. They don't care. They're going to start, if they want to put 3 backups in the lineup on the same night, like Jim Fregosi on a giveaway day on a Sunday afternoon, they do it. And a huge series with the Orioles. Best team in the American League. Show what you got. Maybe you could see that team in the World Series if you were lucky enough to make the postseason. And you trot out like a backups lineup with your 5th starter. There's absolutely no urgency, and there's a day off this week. And they just had 4 days off 10 days ago. I can't figure it out.
I have no idea what the hell he's doing.
I don't.
I appreciate Rob Thompson. I've been a backer of Rob Thompson. Love what he did last year and all. What's the explanation here? Seriously, you take Alec Bohm out of – we just talked yesterday about Alec Bohm and Bryson Stott being your 2 most reliable hitters and moving them up in the order. And he's sitting them?
Sits them
on
both.
The first game? Stott didn't sit.
He's sitting 3 guys out of the starting lineup. He sits 3. He doesn't sit 1. He sits 3.
You talk about during a season that a manager can win you or lose you 5 games. Right? There is no question he lost that game last night. What in the holy hell was he doing? The lineup was horrible, horrendous. How you don't challenge when Kyle Schwarber, who for some reason it seems like Rob Thompson has to answer to, never questions him, doesn't pull him from a lineup, doesn't move him down in the order, has no problem doing it with Real Muto, and rightfully so, and whatever. is standing. Kyle Schwarber is standing on the on-deck circle and sees the play happen in front of him and turns around and says, challenge that. He dropped it. Challenge it. And they say they didn't have enough time to look and see? Like, what the hell is going on here? You could hear the fans, like, mumbling, like, what are we doing? What's going on?
The fans are starting to boo. They're booing Rob Thompson. They're booing
Trey Turner. Well, he deserved it last night, and he knows he deserved it last night.
And then he gets himself thrown out of the game, which is just dumb.
I don't know where the heads of Turner and, at times, Harper are this season. It looks like something might have been said to Harper because you saw that infield hit that he got. He busted his ass down first base. So it looks like something was said. Yeah. So, as much as we're going to criticize Rob Thompson today, it looks like he took care of that business. But then, Schwarber gets on base and he's on second. He starts to walk off the field thinking he's getting pinch run for.
You would pinch run for him.
The announcers are saying, okay, you're going to pinch run Marcia. He just went to get his helmet. And he leaves him there. What in the holy hell for?
And then he leaves him in the ninth.
Well, yeah, all the more reason.
To blow the game.
And then it's just, that was just a horrible game. Like senseless things. Why you're trotting out a lineup like that? Please don't tell me you have to get Josh Harrison at bat.
No, he says, no, you got to get the guys their rest. It's what you dealt with Brett Brown.
Crap.
Hey, Pat, you were you had thoughts before the game even started on this team, on what they're doing, on the lineups, I got to tell you, though, to just one positive, Christopher Sanchez, that was a fantastic. Yes. That was a really good outing.
Yeah, another good outing from Sanchez. That's it for the positive.
Yeah.
Okay. Whole lot of negative there. Bob did a really good job, and I'm going to try to not get too angry or upset. What in the holy hell is he doing? Yeah, look, everything Bob said is accurate. I don't know what the hell is this I can't quit you mentality with Kyle Schwarber and Rob Thompson. Yeah, like I know every manager has that guy. For Gabe Kapler, it was Sean Rodriguez of all people. Didi Gregorius and Ronald Torreyes were Joe Girardi's, and now we found Rob Thompson's. The can do no wrong, and it's maddening to watch. You end up throwing a lineup out with Drew Stubbs, Jake Cave, Josh Harrison, and you think you're going to compete with that. But amazingly, you're still in the game. You still kind of scratched and clawed your way in there, and then you leave probably the worst defensive left fielder, which the left field is, historically the easier position to play. You leave the worst defensive left fielder in the league to continue to play the position, which ends up costing you. Yeah, Rob Thompson lost that game. He threw it away. He threw it away when he set the lineup card out there when he was trying to be too cute and be the smartest guy in the room, and then he proceeded to throw it away in game. You've got a 1-2 combo of Schwarber and Turner who couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat, but then on top of it, you followed up with a 7-8-9 of backups. So you're 7-8-9, 1-2. Half your team, everybody's expecting an out. What the hell is that, dude?
Yeah, I don't understand it, but I'm glad to see you guys are starting to come around to Rob Thompson in this he has no urgency. He's had no urgency all year. He sits there like a bump on a freaking log, can't give you an explanation about why he's doing things, and this team is just content to putz around and try to be a wild card.
And
they're content. There's no desperation.
You know what pissed me off last night, too? It was right there in front of him. I forget what inning it was. It might have been the 7th, 8th inning, I guess.
Which rally was it?
So Rojas gets on base, right? And Schwarber comes up to hit. And the announcers even say it. They're paying so much attention to Rojas at first that this is where Schwarber might just get something. A mistake might be made. Don't you want that all the time? So why the hell are you leading him off?
Exactly.
Why are you starting a game with him with no chance with anybody being on base?
Or
now, a lot of people say, it's only one at bat. It's only one at bat. I don't care. There was a 3-2 game. One at bat could have made all the difference. Why is Kyle Schwarber still leading off with this team?
Because, Bob, they just love starting a game 1-0. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
they start a game 1-0. That's all I ever hear about. Oh my God, we love it. The mental psyche of starting a game 1-0. I'm sorry. Does this happen every other game?
No.
When was the last time he led off a game with a leadoff home run? It's not like he's all of a sudden, hitting 35, 40 bombs this season. He's on pace for a decent amount, but the hell are we doing?
Well, two, another thing is the people who come with that lame argument of it's only one at bat. It's only one time he's leading off. You got the 7, 8, and 9 guys that you're counting on to be on base for him when he comes up again, to be productive as a home run hitter. So you're hoping your 8th or 9th guy is on base so he can hit a big fly. It makes no sense. But nothing has made sense this year with Rob Thompson and this team. I'm telling you, he's uninspiring. And it's just there's no answers. There's no explanation. And then the one explanation was, well, you're starting your 5th starter. So you got to get your guys rest. Got to get him rest. Because Alec Boehm must have been so freaking exhausted after 4 days of the All-Star break and another day off and a day off coming up on Thursday. He must be so exhausted. And, so he's got to get him his rest. I'm like, this is the biggest bunch of crap I've ever heard. The managers in baseball, and there are managers in baseball who trot out their guys, 50 out of 52 games, 50 out of 53 games. This is ridiculous. This is the Brett Brown school, and he was dictated it by the medical staff. And I don't know if that's what the Phillies are doing, but it's a joke. And it's a joke. Just they're throwing everything. They have no urgency. Yeah, we're going to be a wild card, and then we're going to play dancing on our own, and it's going to be great because we did it last year.
I understand players getting caught up in the moment, and when you're hyped up and you're going and all that stuff. I totally understand it. So the Bryce Harper throw out at home, whatever it may be. But as a coach, your job is to slow players down. Your job is to think through the situations and not react the way a player does when a player has full speed going, adrenaline, and all that. Why Dusty Wathan is sending him there when you have your best hitter waiting to come up and you could have a guy on third and instead he waves him home to try a chancy play there?
Now, they would have had the option to walk Stott. So they could have walked him intentionally.
Put runners on base, that's fine with me.
But then the Phillies would have pinch hit Alec Boehm, their best RBI guy. So it made no sense to send Harper there. And people are arguing it again last night going, it's aggressive baseball. This is what you need to do. No, you don't. You don't need to do that there. Your best hitter is waiting to come up. Your guy you can count on the most to come up with a big hit is waiting to do that. That's his job. And instead, it's got to be this hero ball, this Harry Hard-on, we play tougher and harder than everybody, more aggressive. Well, you know what? You play more stupid than everybody, too. And last night was one, stupidity. And then you have Schwarber in the outfield. I thought for sure, even though they didn't pinch run for him, which I thought was stupid, that they then substitute for him in left field. They didn't. Yeah. And it cost them the game. Any player on the roster, any player that they've got in a Phillies uniform would have caught that ball last night. Any one of them. He couldn't get to it. He can't get there.
Yeah, Ricky on the postgame show, I just watched it for a little bit, said, well, he was thinking that maybe he would come back up in the order, and that's why he kept Schwarber in. Okay.
Oh, my gosh. Come on, Rick.
Yeah. No, seriously, I guess that's what his thinking
that's
was.
Stretching to...
I don't agree with it.
No, but what you got to do is you just got to say, he's not making smart decisions. And I think we've seen why he wasn't a manager. I think we've seen it spelled out. And yes, a lot of buttons were pushed last year that were right. And God bless it. And it worked. But watching him manage this team from the beginning this year, not as the substitute teacher, as the main professor, has been maddening. It makes no sense. And if he is making out the lineup, then it's absolute malpractice. I really do believe it. I was told that it's not true. But I got to think the analytics department or somebody's making out this lineup. Because there's no manager saying I'm going up against the best team in baseball in the American League, and I'm going to trot out my backup lineup. No manager's doing that. They're competitors. They want to compete. They want to compete against the best. And to just toss out that lineup last night, you got a full house last night, too. It was awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of Orioles fans, by the way.
It's
came
funny.
Up for that one.
So I'm texting with my sister and brother-in-law and nephew because they're huge Orioles fans. And I guess the Phillies tied it at 1. Orioles go back up 2-1. Phillies tied. So I texted. I said, God, these Orioles are pains in the asses or something like that. And then when the game got over, I said, nah, the Phillies are the ones that are pain in the ass. That was the most frustrating loss, I think, of this season.
Yes,
I'd have to go back. But from the beginning of the lineup to the end of the game, when you don't make a defensive change, I don't get it. I don't know. I don't understand it even a little bit.
And again, I will credit the Phillies broadcasters on television and radio for having integrity because they're questioning it. They're questioning his decisions. They're questioning his moves. And I have seen teams in Major League Baseball where their broadcasters literally are on a leash. They don't have the balls to call out decisions that are being made by managers, general managers, or otherwise. And the Phillies broadcasters have integrity. Every one of them, from the pregame show to the postgame show to during the games, on the TV, on the radio. I got to give them credit because they're asking questions. What's going on here? What are we doing here? And why are we doing it this way? Doesn't make any sense. Hey, it's the Summer of Love happy hour at your local PJ Wellahans. You can fall in love all over again this summer at your local PJs. They've got great happy hour specials every Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. You're going to love PJ's food, drinks, and the people. It's absolutely amazing. Coming up, we got a good news story for you to start your Tuesday morning. Something that won't make you as aggravated. High expectations are here, and boy, wouldn't this be sweet. Coming up next, John Kincade Show, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Alexa at 975thefanatic.com, the Fanatic app, and now on Odyssey. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Our friend Jim Cutler, you hear his voice on The Fanatic many, many times, voicing stuff, commercials, and things like that. He has a crazy but true point for the day, Pat, before we get to the mind bender that I missed. He said, crazy but true, most Bobcats are not named Bob. They don't even know their names or understand any words. I never knew that.
Who the hell's naming Bobcats? It's not like it's a pet.
Well, they're Bobcats.
Hey, come here, little Bobcat.
I think they look beautiful.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with one.
No, that's what I've heard.
I ain't naming
that they're
one.
really nasty. We missed the morning mind bender. Wanted to get to the Phillies. It's Christmas in July. Hopefully, ho, 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 you're having a great morning here. Pat Egan's got a morning mind bender for us, I'm sure, from the Elves. Patrick?
Yeah, sorry, we were dealing with.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All of a sudden, the computer system decided to start firing. We'll get right on it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to have to look up a morning mind bender because
I thought you had one.
After the Phillies game, I failed to do my job. So
Cutler did it for us. Bobcats are not named Bob.
We can always call in somebody from the AM station and have them come in and pull like a Jake Cave or he could be like a Josh Harrison.
Yeah. We don't have one.
Let's go with.
You have one. You go pull one up for us.
Yeah.
Connor Thomas is here from the Locked On Phillies podcast.
What's up?
I watched Locked On Phillies last night.
Yeah.
You're coming around.
Coming around
I
to
knew
what?
you'd get there eventually.
What am I coming around
This
to?
team is freaking terrible at fundamentals, terrible decision making. The manager is half asleep. That you're coming around. I can see your frustrations.
I don't know that
it.
I ever totally disagreed with you on that front. I just think they're talented enough to overcome it and still make the playoffs.
I think they can too. I think they'll be a playoff team.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that doesn't change. This is ridiculous, atrocious.
That game was ridiculous.
This has been an underachieving season.
It's okay. I got it. Back in early June, they were in trouble. I broke out the victory shirt. It turned it around. Well,
Okay.
today, I had to change the vibes up. I went back with the mustache. We just needed a change.
Okay, so what's the rules on this cheesy porn star mustache?
What do you mean?
What's the rules? I
don't know.
If they lose, they've lost what, 4 in a row?
Needed a little. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say
they won the one in Cleveland.
Yeah, they won one in Cleveland. So they won 4 out of. They've lost
4 out of 5. Yes.
Okay, so when does the mustache leave?
I've got to feel the vibes of the team. This is less rules and more vibes.
Well, if they lose the next 2, there's no vibe. They tear it off.
They're not going to. I didn't shave into this mustache for nothing. The Phillies would not let me down.
Patrick?
I apologize for not having a mind bender.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
We just had that conversation.
We had the mustache conversation.
Yeah. So
we tried to prolong things.
No, and I do appreciate it.
I gave you the time.
But with the mustache, that was bad. 1 in 5 American high schoolers are smoking this. 1 in 5 American high schoolers are smoking.
1 in 5, 20%. I'll say cigars.
Wow, it's not bad, Bob.
Is this 1940?
No, I know a lot of.
I didn't say pipes.
Is vaping smoking?
Yeah, that's considered smoking.
Okay, 1 in 5 is vaping.
Yeah, that's the right
Easily.
answer, I think.
Correct. There was only one bad guess, and it was cigars. Like we're 65-year-old men out in the golf course talking about Sinatra.
A lot of 14-years out there with Marlboro Reds these days, Bobby.
Exactly. Yeah, no filters. 1 in 5 American high schoolers are smoking e-cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's a pricey habit.
Pat, I'm going to tell you.
You taking it up?
At my daughter's school, I would tell you that I thought that was much higher. Much higher. And the girls, far more than the guys.
Yeah,
because it kept the weight off. And Liv would say they're doing it to keep the weight off. And I would say it was probably 40% of the girls were vaping.
Oh, geez.
And they were getting, a lot of the parents were bothered by it. It's terrible for your lungs.
That's a surprise.
It's bad for, no, but it's like as far as the wetness in the lungs, it's like pneumonia, brings on pneumonia and things like that.
I wouldn't expect it to you.
No, it's not good for you.
Smoking's not good for you either, but
no,
the vaping is actually more likely to cause them a problem earlier.
But
just in, smoking's bad.
I will say this. There's nothing cooler than when you're sitting at a bar, and there's a group of girls, and a guy comes and sits down, maybe like 30 years old, and he pulls out one of those little pink purple gradient.
Oh yeah,
and just
women love it.
They all turn their heads immediately. Guy gets their numbers in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, they all want that purple.
It doesn't even look like. What are you doing?
It's like, dude, I like the ones who sneak it. I'm at the Phillies game. I'm sneaking my vape.
I love the sneak the vape at the Phillies game.
Right in front of you. Like, right. I'm sneaking my vape. I can't do it without
one can
it.
Tell.
No, nobody can tell there, Shaggy. Give me a break.
Damn vapors.
Hey, pearls, black ripe olives have nothing added but sea salt and water. No artificial colors or preservatives. For quality you can trust, look for the sunny yellow can at your local grocery store. Connor's mustache will make appearance.
I don't like it.
Later on.
I got it. I don't like it. No.
Nah, it's not good.
Nah, you got to get rid of it.
No.
Please.
Well, I thought
it'll grow on you.
I thought it was last summer where we had to deal with that. A little bit different.
No.
Can he go shave now?
Yeah, he could.
I know,
maybe.
really? If I had a razor, I'd give it to him right now.
All right, now I got good news for you. We start out with crappy news. Now I got good news. And here's why it's good news. And I brought this up last year when the Eagles were predicted to be one of the better teams in the NFL. USA Today has a history of doing pretty good with their experts chiming in on what teams' records are going to be, who's going to be good, who's going to be bad. And now they've come out with their 2023 numbers. And they have your Eagles at 12-5. Let me tell you what their expert panel summarizes. Their schedule and what projects as a weakened NFC suggests that a talent-laden team which started 13-1 last season on its way to Super Bowl 57 and one led by quarterback Jalen Hurts, the 2022 MVP runner-up, who appears to be the conference's top quarterback, could bolt to another hot start. Reality signals there'll be a few speed bumps for a club breaking in 2 new coordinators, a half dozen new starters, but based on and one of the tougher schedules in the league. Still, the reigning conference champs, given present circumstances, seem to have a favorable path back to the number 1 playoff seed. They have them at 12-5. Their panel has Dallas in second place at 9-8. And they have the Commanders at 7-10 and the Giants dropping to 6-11. The Giants are not winning 6 games. I don't believe that for once. I don't believe for 1 second
What did the Giants go last year? Were they 9-8? Yeah,
or 10-7. They may have even gone 10-7. But they were.
Saquon's a big loss, obviously. They'll win more than 6. I think. I think
he'll
they'll win
be
more
there,
than
right?
6.
Oh, he'll show up.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a mess.
But how motivated is he going to be?
He's going to
be playing for money.
I wonder.
No, but is he taking that extra? Is he taking that extra yard?
Trying to break that extra tackle?
Exactly.
No, he's going down when he's going to get super collision.
I think he still will because it's in your inherent nature at that point to, in the moment you're not thinking, oh my God, my contract.
He's a Penn Stater. He's a Penn Stater I really respect. I like Saquon Barkley. I admire the way he plays.
So do I.
Love watching him.
I hope he's called up Lords of London.
There's one, Lloyd's.
What did I say, Lords?
Yeah, Lords. You call the Lords, they're not answering you. Because William and Kate aren't taking your call.
I was close.
Lloyd's is.
You could have just let it go.
Right
Nobody
there.
would know.
I could have.
Yeah, I could have. I'm sorry. In the NFC North, they have the Detroit Lions, who end up being the 3 seed in the playoffs at 11-6. And the Lions win the division by 4 games over the Bears, the Packers, and Minnesota, all at 7-10. I think the Lions are winning that division.
This is how you know the Eagles are such favorites in the NFC. I heard a national pundit say that he thought the Packers were going to win that division. There's so many different things. I heard somebody else say that they thought the 49ers were just above a 500 team. It's just the rest of the NFC is you're trying to grasp at something. You're trying to say, I'm not going to say something outlandish.
Is there a story?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think anybody really knows. Is Love going to be a really good quarterback in Green Bay? I don't know. But the one solid thing you can say is, the Eagles are by far the favorite to win this NFC.
I'm going over, I already said before with Adam, I'm going over 7.5 wins for the Packers. I think the Packers are going to be better.
They have a good running game.
And I don't think they're falling off the map, and I think Matt LaFleur has a good plan. I think they'll find a way to make that work. NFC South. Now, I don't think they're going to be that good, but over 7.5.
Who's he throwing to?
NFC South, they have the Saints winning the division at 9-8. and the Falcons sneaking in as the 7th seed, the last wild card, at 9-8. So they have those two teams going to the playoffs. And in the West, they have the 49ers as the 2 seed, 1 game behind the Eagles at 11-6. They have the Seahawks as the 5 seed at 10-7. They have them going to the playoffs. So, and the best part is once you get to the playoffs, then their writers actually sort of map it out for you as to what they see the postseason being. They have the 49ers beating the Falcons in the wild card round, the Lions beating the Cowboys, and the Seahawks beating the Saints. So in the divisional playoffs, Eagles host the Seahawks and beat them. Lions beat the 49ers, they say. NFC Championship game at the Link, the Eagles beat the Lions to go to Super Bowl 58. They have the Jets defeating the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl against the Eagles, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas, which I am counting on. It's the only thing getting me through my chemo. Eagles defeat the Jets to win Super Bowl 58, and their expert panel was almost unanimous of the Eagles being Super Bowl champions.
The Detroit Lions with Jared Goff are good to go to the, well, Brock Purdy took them.
I'll tell you what.
Okay, never mind.
Pat, what you say, though, seems very logical to go, wait a minute here. But then again, remember, Jared Goff's been to two NFC championship games, and he's been to a Super Bowl.
And last year's NFC championship game,
We saw it. Yep.
Had a third-string quarterback. So, yeah, but it speaks to how weak the NFC is.
The Lions seem to be that fancy pick now. You know, everybody loves the Lions, and here they come. Here come the Lions. And I heard an interview with Campbell on. He's saying, yeah, I hear it. It's going crazy now. It's exploding. We just have to keep our minds set. Do you think the Lions are going to be more towards that team, the Cinderella, air quotes, 10-7, 11-6 team, or do you think they're going to be more towards 500?
No, I think they're going to be, I would say right now, if I had to bet, I'm going over 9.5. So they're a 10-win team. They're a 10-win team.
How about you, Pat?
Oh.
If I set the number at 9.5,
I don't feel it.
Yeah, I don't feel it.
I got to be honest. I don't feel it.
I guess it all comes down to Green Bay because you have a giant question mark at their quarterback position, but I can't get over who's he throwing to. So
who's winning in that? Think of the division. You have to think of the division.
I'll still go Minnesota, I guess.
I hear people talking the Bears are going to win 10 or 11 games. I think that's a huge jump.
I mean, Minnesota has no running game. The Bears, as you talked about, that's a massive jump for them. Could they make it? I'll stick with Minnesota, but I'm not confident in that.
Yeah, there's
that
just not
gross.
There's not much in this NFC after the Eagles.
No, there really isn't.
Now, John, do you still have up the NFC
I can,
East?
yes.
I found it, and it was kind of something that we talked about yesterday. But if you don't mind, read the beginning of what they said about the Eagles, because I think it was kind of pointing out something that I wanted to go back to.
That they have a light schedule, that they got out to a 8-1 start last year, that they were 13-1 overall, led by Jalen Hurts.
I thought it started out with some of the things that were detractors a little bit. Didn't they say other stuff about?
Well, let me get back.
A tough schedule?
Let me get back to well, the tough schedule comes in at the end. They say that the tough schedule does come in at the end. So that's where they went.
Well, I thought it was funny. When you first read it, you said that the Eagles have a tougher schedule this year. They do have new offensive and defensive coordinators.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, are we kind of and then it went to
we are though.
I mean, these are serious questions, and I'm not being a Debbie Downer at all. I think the Eagles are going to be really good this year. 12-5. I said, kidding around when we did the W&Ls. I said 14-3. I don't. 12-5 sounds good to me, but man, there is some. I'm really anxious to look. I want the answers to the linebacker, to the safeties, to different things like that during this training camp, as opposed to Jalen Hurts looks great. A.J. Brown looks great. Devontae, I expect all that.
You're expecting all those.
I need the answers to what I think are huge, huge questions on this team right now.
By the way, C.J. Gardner-Johnson goes down yesterday.
No damage, though.
No damage?
I saw a thing last night that I guess they had an MRI, whatever, showed no damage. That was one of the tweets I saw last night.
Then why do you have to be carted off?
I don't know. Maybe there was a scare there or something. I did see that tweet. Now, hopefully it's right. I don't wish harm on anybody. But
nobody wants to root injury on anybody. So that's good news there. All right, Santa Claus is coming to town because it is Christmas in July here on the John Kincade Show. And I have the first option for you here. If you want to get involved, too, on social media or give us a call at 610-632-0975. To any of these, you can jump in. You are not allowed to say James Harden because Santa Claus has already, in black Sharpie, listed James Harden on this year's naughty list. James Harden isn't going to be getting his usual gift that he gets from Santa, $1,000 in ones. Who does Santa need to have a large lump of coal for? Now, here's what I want you to do. It's July 25th. Be confident that whoever you pick is not going to turn it around by later this year. So if you say, oh, it's Trey Turner, deserves the big lump of coal, that's okay. But if he turns it around in the next few months, Santa's going to put you on the naughty list. He doesn't want to come off like a jerk, so you have to pick somebody now that you're confident they deserve a big lump of coal and they're going to deserve it again coming up on Christmas. Pat, do you have any ideas about a lump of coal that Santa Claus needs to have ready for somebody? You could get the lump of coal yourself if you're wrong.
Oh, it's fine. Not my first time. I'm going to go with Rob Thompson. It's probably pretty recency bias, but the Kyle Schwarber thing, I can't get over. I harp on it way too much. I bring it up every day, but it's not changing, and I know it's not. You talked about, a guy could turn it around. He's not going to, though. Like, he's proved that last year when he got this job, which he was going to ride or die with Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff spot. And he's going to do it again. And I don't think it's smart. It hasn't worked out all that well this season. So I'm going to give it to him. On top of it, like we've gone from complaining about how he handles a bullpen to handles a lineup now. So
now Santa
it's very rare that it's like you get a clean couple weeks from Rob Thompson.
I think that's fair, but if Rob Thompson, like let's say they go back to the NFC, if they go back to the NLCS, it's going to be. I mean, Santa may say, you know what, Pat, you're getting the big lump of coal.
That's fine.
You're taking the risk.
Yeah, I'll take
Bobby.
That.
You got somebody?
Yeah, this person not only gets a lump of coal today on Christmas in July, but he gets it. He has a lifetime supply of it. So he gets it every July 25th, every December 25th. Just a lifetime supply of coal to this guy, and that's Chuck Fletcher. I know he's gone. I know he's not here anymore.
Gone.
But my God, we're paying for these sins for years to come. And I hope to God that Danny Briere and Keith Jones and John Tortorella, hopefully they can turn this thing around. It seems like they finally have a vision. But my God, having to clean up the mess, the absolute disgusting mess that Chuck Fletcher left here. Yeah, he's a lifetime supply coal guy. Even though he's gone, I don't care.
Give him that big lump of coal.
Yeah, every 6 or however you do it. You do 5 months and then 7 months and then 5 months. Yeah, he gets a lifetime supply.
I'm going to give the lump of coal to the worst. These people, I believe, collectively are having the worst year they've ever had. Major League Baseball umpires. So I want Santa to hit like up in the state of Pennsylvania, go find a coal mine and go shopping. I do not remember a time when officials had a worse run, especially balls and strikes. It's terrible. And those of you who don't want robo-umps, I have no idea what you're watching. Do you not see it on a nightly basis? I can't get over how bad the umpiring is in Major League Baseball, especially balls and strikes. I want them all to get the big chunk of coal. I mean, gigantic. Give them a big slab of it, because I don't know how you can be that bad when you have all the advantages at your fingertips. They're constantly having to go to review too for things that they're getting caught making mistakes on.
You know, Trey Turner gets pissed off and thrown out last night on that called third strike, and it looked like it was out of the box. But if I'm the ump, I'm just looking at him and saying, swing the bat.
Yeah,
Shut up and swing the bat. You have 2 strikes on you, and you're okay, professional eye, all that stuff. Dude, you swing at every first pitch that's nowhere near the strike zone, and you're going to bitch to me about it. Like, I had the ump side on Trey Turner last night.
I absolutely did, and I didn't
like it. I didn't like that I was doing it, but I did it.
Well, first off, too, Trey Turner getting really in his personal space, too. That's another thing. Is that done?
He wanted to get thrown out last night.
He wanted to get thrown out.
The more it went on, the ump wasn't throwing him. The ump wasn't throwing him.
The ump let him have a say.
Yeah, and then I guess Turner was just like, you know what? I got 2 errors. I look horrible at the plate. Get me out of here, will you?
God, he is a butcher in the field. Absolutely, it's horrible. So, if you want to give some coal out, we'll read some of them off of social media. If you want to get in, as it's Christmas in July, hopefully a nice balmy, cold breeze comes your way today. I guess it can't be balmy if it's cold. A nice cold breeze comes your way because it is going to get hot the rest of this week. You love that.
It. Yeah.
Connor's all excited. You're all excited.
Yeah, when Connor and I walk out of the building every day and we get hit with that heat,
heat index of 103 on Friday.
Yeah, that's a lot, but
that sucks. All I can think of is I got a buddy, Joe, who Rosanio, who works on top of roofs for a living. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, that's
I can't
tough.
imagine being up on a roof. The heat up there must be terrible.
Yeah, that's borderline dangerous. So hopefully everybody's all careful.
Oh, man. Hey, the Fanatic deal of the week, Arnold's Family Fun Center. It's awesome. Get a $100 point card to Arnold's Family Fun Center for just $50. Located in Oaks, Pennsylvania, Arnold's Family Fun Center is one of Pennsylvania's premium indoor entertainment venues. 200,000 square feet of action-packed adventure. Fun seekers of all ages will enjoy endless excitement. Check out this exclusive offer now at 97.5thefanatic.com, keyword deal. And I heard Arnold's Family Fun Center has some pretty good air conditioning, too.
Oh, there you go.
If you're looking for something, you got the kids, you're looking for something where you don't have to be out in the heat, everybody melting, you can take care of business
Ray
there.
Dickey Dunn was given props to Arnold's last night, or yesterday afternoon. Yeah, he lives right up there.
Wow, he's got a... Wait a minute, I thought Pat was the mayor of Oaks. Wait a minute. Is he deputy mayor or something?
No, he's not anything.
Yeah, he's just a minion.
Hey, he just lives there.
He's
just from that area.
He's just a minion.
Sorry, bud. Took over your spot.
Terrible. Dickie Dunn getting a little smackdown.
Yeah, he's a good kid, but no, he's
not in the office yet. He hasn't worked his way up to there.
Yeah.
So I was watching the BSE yesterday with Chunas and Jamie.
Yes.
And do you guys remember when Jamie was here how much grief he took about his manhandling of the microphone?
Yeah, which he constantly does. And he says
I never noticed it before. But then yesterday I was watching the show. He is all over that thing. So I sent him a text. And I said, "You are the manhandler of the mic." And he's like, "Really? Do I do it a lot?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's unbelievable.
He won't stop touching it.
Yeah, you won't. You don't keep your hands off of it."
He doesn't know he does it.
He doesn't. No, he does not.
Because he will adamantly argue with you that he doesn't. And it got me thinking yesterday. I saw some of the best show ever. They did a really nice job. And hopefully Ty and Jen and Ricky are enjoying a little time. Here's the problem. It got me thinking. Jamie may have been the chair picker. Because he doesn't, he will argue on the microphone saying that he doesn't manhandle mics. Yet, if you watched Best Show Ever, he does. He's like, he's holding it like Dick Clark, like he's a 50s DJ. He can't stop touching it. And it made me think, Jamie obviously doesn't connect to what he's doing. Maybe all along, Pat, he was the picker.
That was my point all along.
And he doesn't even realize he does it.
He doesn't realize he's doing it.
Right.
And he got so upset and would yell at me. And I said, Jane, I don't
think he's the
blame you
picker.
for it. I don't think you know what you're doing when you do it.
Because he's the same way. He'll argue that he doesn't manhandle mics. I think he might be the picker.
It's
and I've
either
always
him or
defended him.
Tunis.
What, picking the chair?
It's one of the two, yeah.
But I thought it was here in studio.
It was in that seat over there.
Well, so it is, and it was in the back. And that was in the producer area.
Oh, okay.
So if you're looking at who the chair picker could be, Chunis is a really good option because of the fact that he sits in all three. But then Jamie, for a while, was doing the same thing.
Has somebody who's right-handed.
Has the picking stopped?
I can't tell.
I can't tell either.
This chair's
Bob's
almost
chair is almost
we'd
picked through.
have to change the arms on the chair and then see.
That's unbelievable. Hey, Cooney's Corner has some fun that Rob Thompson's not going to find. It's Christmas in July. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic.
The John Kincade Show.
Sir, one more outburst, I will...
Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Grandma got
This is the one you hate, Pat? Who hated this one?
It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it.
I loved it back in the day. I hardly hear it anymore. I don't know if it just doesn't get much play anymore. Christmas in July here on the John Kincade Show.
There was a lot of grandmas that got together and did a boycott of radio stations that played it.
Betty loved it. She thought it was a great song. One of her favorites. She
I guess
had
it
no
hits different when you become a grandma.
Yeah, she had no problem getting run over. She said that's grandma's fault. She's a little on the medication and maybe a little drinking. Can be a bit of a problem. Got to watch that.
Yeah?
Yeah, if you're grandma, you can't be drinking and doing medication. And then you get run over. It happens.
I haven't had any grandmoms in a long time.
I had to navigate like 7 deer this morning. So
You hit 7 deer?
no, I had to navigate
Oh.
7 deer. I had to stop twice for deer. Once before getting out of the neighborhood, once right outside the neighborhood. Where they've gotten very brazen. They will literally stop and look at you.
They've always been brazen.
You think always?
Oh,
They're like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, they're an arrogant animal.
Arrogant?
Yeah.
Well, you know why I bring up deer? Because ticks are in season. And many carry diseases, and they can be in fields and fairways, picnics and parks, backyards and baseball fields. Protect, check, remove. Learn more at health.pa.gov/ticks. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars. Now, I remember that there were people who said you had to burn ticks out of you.
I remember when my dog, when I was a kid, would have ticks. He'd take them out and we'd burn them.
You'd burn them out of the...
Well, we'd take them out with tweezers first, and then we'd burn them.
Burn that tick.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
I remember leeching back in the day.
You do?
I remember it well.
You had that?
Yeah, if anytime you were sick, leech.
I think I'd prefer leeching to chemotherapy. I'm not, it's like even, I think, sort of in the mix. Having to carry around that bag doesn't thrill me with that. Pat, there is one thing I got to ask you. In the realm of you always know where to get food.
I mean, I guess.
I wrote my social media post on this today. There's one thing we have not found near the homestead of quality.
Okay.
Chinese food.
Not a Chinese food guy.
So you're not a Chinese food person at all. I was wondering if maybe after hockey, you would ever picked up Chinese food. I think there are rules with Chinese food. It's got to be, you can either take it out or eat in. Like the place has to have like some place you could eat in. If you wanted to eat in, you can. If you want to take it out, you can.
I got to tell you, I've rarely, if
ever,
maybe once we went out and stayed in the restaurant. But no, Chinese food, I always seem to get on the
So you're
take.
more of a, we're more,
Yeah.
we tend to take it out more often anyway. But you got to that. But also, too, I think like 5-6 miles. Is that sort of like the buffer? You should be able to have it.
5 miles is a lot.
5 miles is within 5 miles. You should be able to have a good
You should
Chinese
be able
food.
to.
Yeah,
But then again,
absolutely.
you're looking for good Chinese food in Westchester, Pennsylvania.
I found
might be tough to find.
Now, the weird thing is, though, in suburban Atlanta, which is very similar, nothing. Like, no problem. You can find quality Chinese, like 2 or 3 options. We've yet to find one. Christina took me yesterday because she's like, look, you got treatment this week, so you're not going to be able to eat out. So let's go. How about we go have some Chinese? We tried another place. It was just swimming in sauce.
You don't like it?
No. It's like the Chinese food the plate was swimming in the sauce that they just drenched it in it. Not my thing.
No, I like sushi.
Yeah, I like
But-
sushi too, and it had the seaweed sushi.
Chinese food doesn't do it for me.
They had the seaweed wrap, not the rice wrap. It was the seaweed wrap where the rice was inside the seaweed.
Yeah.
Nah, not. I'd rather have the
Sorry,
Wegmans.
I can't help you.
Yeah, so you have no options for them.
No, man.
Somebody in the listening audience will have some.
Yeah,
ideas,
somebody. I'm sure that
Somebody
people
will know
will hit you up
something.
with a couple good spots.
Because we found nothing so far, and I can't believe it because you find every other food out there.
What's your go-to Chinese food when you order?
General So's.
I like General Tso. I call it Tso. General
Sal's
Tso.
spicy. I like it spicy
Yeah, I'm not much of a spice guy, but there it's not too bad.
with white rice.
Yeah, my family loves the sweet and sour chicken. I do usually like the Triple Delights or the family
What's
thing.
Triple Delights?
Triple Delight will have like chicken and beef and shrimp, or if you get like it's sometimes called like a family platter where it'll have shrimp, chicken, pork.
Is it in
beef.
noodles or rice?
It's in no, it's in vegetables.
Okay, is it brown?
In like a brown sauce?
Brown sauce.
Yeah.
Okay, brown sauce is
and then it
is
comes
a winner.
with white rice. Yeah, I like the variety. I like the vegetable. I love
The crunchy vegetables?
oh my god!
Oh my gosh.
The vegetables are so good in Chinese food. Broccoli is just delicious.
The only time I'll eat broccoli is in Chinese food.
Oh, is that right?
I will not eat it otherwise.
Oh, I love broccoli.
I do not like it. So I like the colorful. I love the colorful vegetables though, crunchy, and pea pods.
Pea pods are
The
good.
pea pods are great.
I don't eat the little corns.
You don't eat them?
No, God, no.
You don't really? I love the pea
No.
pods. Oh man, that's one of my favorites.
I don't mind a little corn.
Okay.
A little corn is a nice item.
I for some reason I push that aside. I just can't. I can't get my fingers on it.
What are you, Tom Hanks and Big?
Yeah, right.
I do like a beef and broccoli.
So you do like the brown sauce then?
I'm not going to be one that ever says let's get Chinese food. If it is forced upon me,
Okay.
I will have a couple go-to items that I will eat, but I'm never going to come home and go, man, I really want Chinese food tonight.
And
I think part of it was my dad was a huge Chinese food fan. And like once a week, it was like, all right, we're getting Chinese food.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
just like, dude, I don't know. And part of it with him was he liked reheating it and stuff. And I hate reheating.
the smell of Chinese
Exactly.
food reheated, it's terrible.
I don't really like reheated
Really?
food
Oh,
anyway.
I
the
love
smell's
it.
terrible reheated.
Oh,
yeah,
my God,
see,
I
that's the
love
thing. My
it.
dad was like, Bob,
Did he microwave it?
Yep.
Wait, so you put it in a microwave, it's foul.
Yeah, I can't
Bob,
stand
you
it.
probably warm it up on the oven or
No,
something.
I microwave Chinese food.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
it's
it
fine
smells.
with me.
It ruined me and my dad's relationship. We don't talk to this day because of it.
Well, thankfully he listens to the
that's
show.
a lie.
Well, that is, yeah, it is. Well, he listens to the show because it's his only connection with me because I won't answer his phone calls
Because of the Chinese
or his
food.
texts or his
Because of the
emails.
Chinese
Sent a couple
food.
letters, but yeah, it's the great Chinese food debate of 1999.
I can't believe it though.
Rages on.
Well, you say though is like Westchester, Pennsylvania. There's not. You should.
I just wouldn't expect like good Chinese food in Westchester, PA.
Well, I mean, I'm saying 5 miles. I could go. I could go into over.
I mean,
Malvern, I
you
can
want
go-
that specific type
nothing, though.
of spot.
I can't believe
Yeah,
there's
I'm not
not.
a Chinese food guy.
We haven't found any yet. So
Did you find it real quick? Did you find anybody in Ardmore when you lived there?
yes,
So you found a place in Ardmore?
yes, I did. Oh yeah, there was a great place. Chief Dan sent me over. I could walk to it.
Well, then go get that.
It's too far.
Oh well, now it's too far. I mean,
Yes,
it's just
got to be. We said 5 miles for China.
Okay.
You can't
I mean-
go. I'm not driving to Ardmore for Chinese food and driving back.
I mean, you drive to Ballackinwood for work.
For work,
What's the
yes.
difference?
They're not paying
If
me.
you have a hankering for Chinese food, you could find a place from here on to the way home.
I don't know,
A
man.
really good place.
Yeah, but I'm saying
I don't think you're about
no, I
that Chinese
absolutely
food
could.
life.
Yeah.
but we're not having Chinese. I don't want to have Chinese food also at 11:30 or 12 o'clock.
I don't think you want it bad
Why?
enough.
For lunch?
No, hate it.
Oh,
It's
I
like
could eat Chinese food all day.
you know me and my rules. It's like dinner. That's like a dinner thing.
I agree with you on that. It is like a dinner thing.
Like I can't eat it at lunchtime because then I won't want to eat
no,
dinner.
I could.
It's too filling.
I like sushi for lunch too. Like sometimes if I
sushi's
have to
good.
stop and pick something up on the way home, I'll grab sushi.
Bob,
from...
you're a guy that at 10 a.m. you're like, let's go get a beer.
But you could.
Well, we're up. I get up at 3:30 in the morning. Like 10 o'clock. It's
My point is, like at 10 o'clock, beer's fine. So I would expect you to be a person that goes Chinese food at 11 o'clock. Yeah,
it's
that's
fine.
cool.
Yeah, I can't.
there's
do it.
nothing, and there's no place. If we get a beer after work, it's 11 o'clock actually because there's no place open. There's nothing wrong with that, especially when you're up at 3:30 in the
We can
morning.
always go to the wine and spirits down the street, but you don't want to hang out there at 10 a.m.
That's
Are you
way-
judging me right now?
I am
I
judging.
feel like you're judging me.
I'm judging both of you. I got one guy who claims to want beer at 10 a.m. but isn't about that life, and I got another guy who wants good Chinese food but isn't willing to make the drive.
I'm not driving to Ardmore to get it. I mean, that's
well, then
ridiculous.
you're not about that life.
That's 40 miles round trip to go get Chinese food.
I'll
No.
tell you what. If I have a hankering though for something on say Friday night. Friday night's our order out
Okay.
night. We always order out on Friday. Usually we get pizza or something like that. But I have no problem if I want. There's this one place that has really good pizza on the other side of town. It's probably 5 miles or so. If I really want it, I don't mind driving for it.
See,
but
now-
you have to find the place.
Yeah, I got to find the place first. So, hey, I got Pizza Westchester now, so I got my pizza. Got that. Pat, you have
and
it?
I'm happy. I have not had it.
You've not had it
I
yet?
probably never will.
Because you're not going to stand in the line?
I'm not going to drive out to Westchester for it.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah, and then also the standing in line.
Oh, so good. Oh my gosh.
I'm never going to be out in Westchester at that hour.
At that time. All right, Bob wanted to talk a little bit about.
Now I'm starving.
Bob wanted to talk a little bit about the manager. Pat wanted to talk a little bit about Trey Turner. So I think both of you can sort of have the stage here to get some thoughts on, Bob, first, your frustration with Rob Thompson.
Well, here's where it lies, and I've talked about this often.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's corner.
Thanks, Pat. Sorry about that, buddy.
There you go.
How sports like to copycat each other. Usually it's...
This is Pat's point of view. Here's Pat.
Is the computer doing this, or is Santa messing with you?
He said it's kind of both of our points. So.
Yeah, it's both of your points,
Yeah,
so you both
so
get
can
to
I
share the stage.
Yeah, so I'll get mine out real quick.
There you
Okay.
I feel like Rob Thompson was copycatting last night Doc Rivers and saying, scheduled loss. This is a scheduled loss. Fifth starter, so I'm going to do this. I'm sorry. The competitor in me says if I have a fifth starter going that you deem, okay, just that, maybe doesn't give you the best chance to win, I'm throwing in the greatest hitters I have on my team to try to overcome that. Didn't seem like that's what he did last night. Totally seemed like what he wanted to do was, well, fifth starter, so it's a good chance to get the guys that aren't going to play all that much some at-bats. Crap. Hate it, couldn't stand it. I was pissed off before the game started.
There you go.
Pat, you got something to say?
It's the truth. It is. Bob was upset beforehand, and then you have something to say on Trey Turner.
Hello. Yes, I do. This is my point of view now. They need to sit Trey Turner. And I'm not saying you bench him, but they need to sit him for a game and just let him chill. Because last year I watched Rob Thompson and Nick and Kevin Long allow Nick Castellanos to drown for an entire season. As it was, he'll hit his way out of it. He'll be okay.
Oh, yes.
We'll work on it. You know, the guru of Kevin Long never figured it out. And it looks like he's figured it out this season, although Nick has struggled in the second half early on. But you cannot afford to have Trey Turner follow Nick Castellanos, his path last year, this season. You need to get this guy right. It's pretty clear that it is between the head at this point. I mean, he's never been a butcher in the field. This year, he's a butcher in the field. He's never had slumps. This year, he has slumps. He's arguing with Umson. It's just clear frustration. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if there's an issue at home. I don't know if it's just a matter of
moving, because moving is traumatic.
I don't know what it is, but it's something, and you got to get it right. And you, because you're not going to do anything in the playoffs if you get to that point. If your 1 and 2 hole hitter are hitting a combined 235 with an on-base percentage that isn't exactly impressive. So you need to get him right. Kyle Schwarber is what he is. Kyle Schwarber for the last 5 years has hit a $190 and he mashes taters. Like, that's what he does. He's Big Al. He hits dingers. Okay? You're not fixing him. You're going to put him in the leadoff spot. You're going to die on that hill, fine. But Trey Turner is a guy that should not be doing this. This is the outlier year, but you need to get it right. And what I saw last night was a prime example of, dude, you need to sit. You need to sit down and just be with your thoughts. I don't know if it's a Dennis Rodman thing, go out to Vegas for 48 hours.
He doesn't look like the Vegas type.
Hang out with Carmen Electra, fine. Then go to Reno.
I'm not sure Reno's it.
Okay, fine.
I'm thinking he's more Arnold's Family Fun Center.
Then go to Arnold's Family Fun Center. Get the deal of the week. Okay?
Get the deal of the week.
I mean, $100 point card for $50. I mean, that'll put a smile on his face because right now he's not smiling much. But I swear, if I have to watch an entire season of Trey Turner and I'm sitting there going, well, Castellanos dealt with the same thing. Okay, what's the common denominator here? It's Rob Thompson. It's Kevin Long. They both let it go on too long. Fix it. Both of these guys have been in baseball for how long? And they can't fix a slump?
I heard Kevin Long's the miracle worker. He's Andy Sullivan.
Well, apparently not, because he back-to-back years of high-priced free agents have struggled. And now his offense is struggling, and it's like, I wonder why. Because your 1 and 2 hole hitter suck right now.
So I'm watching last night's game, and obviously the frustration was there with me even before the game started. Then the game goes on. Trey Turner gets 2 errors, looks horrible again at the plate, gets thrown out. Bryce Harper gets thrown out at home with all the questions around that, and you can see how pissed off he was after that happened. They don't take out Schwarber, all of those things. when the game got over, I'm looking for a bright spot, and I think I may have found it.
What's that?
Because I've seen this happen a lot of times in professional sports.
Ricky on postgame. No.
When you hit the lowest of lows, sometimes it picks you up. And last night may have been the low spot of this season for this team. I think they're frustrated. Trey Turner, his head, I don't know where it is. I don't think he knows where it is. That happens in sports sometimes. You're right. I agree with you, Pat. He's got to get righted. I thought that what's his face is Bryce Harper's head was out of sorts a little bit too over the last week with that at bat. With the bat on his shoulder against Milner, whatever it was, and then not running out the ball the other day. I thought he was like in a rinse cycle or something. Those guys need to get righted in their head. I think Harper turned the corner last night. He's trying to hustle himself out of whatever little, thing he's in. But I agree. Give Turner a night off. But last night was the low point, and I would preach this if I was Rob Thompson. I had a low point. We're having a low point as a team. Bad game. I'll take the loss on me, but it picks up from here.
I got to tell you, too, is the idea, though, and I hear it on the broadcasts, and I know the color analysts are trying to make excuses for Trey, Pat. They're going, he's got to pick up his family and move to a new city and everything like that. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, he has a tough life. He has a life that's going to be seriously affected by this.
Well, he's got a stressful life.
Yeah, he's got a stressful life. I'm saying they're talking about him not being able to going to work's hard and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, Bob, I'm laughing as I sit on my television going, no, I sort of understand a little bit about, there are a lot of people, and I'm one of them right now. It's a lot tougher things going on in life than worrying about $30 million and moving to a new city. It's like, please stop with that. I mean,
why?
As far as
you don't
how
know
hard
how
it
people
is?
feel. He could have been down in the dumps really badly that his family wasn't here and they just had a new kid and all of that stuff.
No, I'm talking about Trey this year. They're talking about Trey Turner being.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Castellanos from last year.
They're talking about Trey. And I'm like,
I
it's
haven't
really
heard
hard
any talk like that about.
Trey, it's a new city. You pick up your family. You got to move and everything. And I'm going, are you freaking kidding me? People are going to work that are like literally have real issues going on.
How do you know he doesn't have a real issue going on?
What do you mean the real issue?
Like there could be a home issue.
Money doesn't hide everything. Like money does not hide everything. And I remember having this argument with Jamie before. He's like, "Oh, he doesn't have to get up with the kid. I'm sure he has a nanny." Like I'm a human being. If my kid's crying, it's going to bother me whether I have a nanny or not. Like if my kid has, I don't know, a colic or something. I mean, okay, making $30 million a year, yeah, we'd all love it. We think it'd make life easier, all that stuff. Yeah, okay. But at the end of the day, they're still human beings. They still could have real human problems. There could be problems I'm not suggesting there is. Whatever it may be, family problems that maybe we don't know about. Look, I had a kid that was diagnosed with autism when he was 2 years old that I didn't tell hardly anybody about. Nobody knew what was going on in my personal life. We don't know. And it wouldn't have mattered if I made $30 million a year or not. It wouldn't have mattered. That crushed me. That absolutely crushed me. But we don't know. Just because you're making $30 million doesn't mean it overrides. And I probably didn't go on in a great way. But people didn't know it because I didn't tell anybody. I could have been slumping at work. I don't know, but
articles were great, Bob.
Those things
we thought
happen.
Those pieces were
People
great.
are human beings. Yeah, I never get you make so much money, so come on, just shut up and play.
No, what I get you is there's people, though, who have much more deeper first world problems. That are they? And now we're making excuses going, well, there may be a problem. We're making up scenarios.
Well, we're trying to figure out why he's struggling when he's never struggled in his career.
Well, Castellanos did last year, too. I mean, it's just his mental.
It might just be Philly. I mean, it might just be the market.
Now, that's an interesting theory.
It might be the pressure of living up to a large contract. I don't know what it is.
No, it could be.
I said it before. You got John Hamm talking in your highlight tape that was sent out to teams about it's about as slump proof as it gets, and we're in a slump. That's been going on the entire season. I mean,
who was the one that said he's unslumpable?
John Hamm.
John Hammond?
No, it's his representation.
John Hamm.
Oh, John Hamm.
That video
he needs to be our number one enemy, John.
Yeah,
Hamm needs to be our number one enemy.
Well, all he did was read the script.
Yeah, I don't blame Hamm. I blame the scriptwriter.
Yeah, and that was.
I'm blaming anybody. I don't care. Somebody gets blamed.
Hey,
I'll take the blame.
Rick in Easton joins us on The Fanatic. Rick, welcome. Merry Christmas to you in July. How are you, buddy?
Guys, how are you doing?
Good, man.
All right, real quick, and then I want to get to my Phillies point. The best Chinese food is get those ribs without the extra sauce and pork fried rice. It's awesome.
Oh, I think the ribs are great. I just got to find
Ribs are good.
I just got to find the place that has them though near
Yeah,
me.
but you can't go from Westchester to Ardmore. I agree with that.
Exactly.
Okay. So real quick, guys, I totally agree with what you just said. Not only can't you give some of these better hitters in your lineup, hello, Stott, hello, boom, a scheduled day off, you got to move them up in the order. You know who should get a scheduled day off? Schwarber. You know who should get a scheduled day off? Turner.
How about Rob Thompson?
Scheduled day off. Well, because Thompson got the lightning in the bottle last year.
Oh, yes, yeah, I know.
But the bottom line, guys, is you can't do a Castellanos. Castellanos didn't cost $330 million. Turner did. You got to get him. I told my wife before the game, Turner's going to implode one of these days. And isn't it funny? He did it yesterday. But here's my other thought. And a lot of talk show hosts agree with me. The millennials yesterday beat me up on this. There is a first baseman. He's a right-handed power hitter. The Detroit Tigers are not building their franchise around him, Torrenson. And I'm telling you right now, there should be no reason why you can't put Bryce Harper in left field once in a while. Yesterday, he would have caught that ball that Schwarber tried and made an.
You could have just had Marsh. The things you have Marsh already. You don't need to do anything.
Marsh. Exactly, but those are the things, guys. These scheduled days off with Bohm and Stott are ridiculous.
It is. It doesn't make any sense, Ricky. Happy Merry Christmas to you in July. In case we miss you in December.
I don't know why Detroit would trade Spencer.
Why would they?
Torkelson.
They're not going to do that.
It's 23.
Yeah, they're not
He's
doing
the first
that.
overall pick.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep him, Pat.
I think they'll probably let that one ride out for a little bit.
I think they're going to keep that one. They're not going to probably make a
Probably
move.
not.
Off of that.
Yesterday, I saw a tweet. Yesterday afternoon. Wow, Thompson juggled the lineup today.
Juggle.
And then I was like, oh, great. I was surprised how anxious I was to see somebody else leading off besides Kyle Schwarber. But the juggling of the lineup wasn't that. It was that he had Harrison and Cave.
He
And,
fumbled the lineup. I'd put that a fumble.
Now, Rojas is interesting. Like I like watching him play. He's definitely a big league defensive player. Growing a kid a little bit, yeah, great. That's fine. So him, I didn't mind in the lineup. You know, stick him in center and have him bat ninth. That's fine. But all three at once, I understand Real Muto's struggling, but it just doesn't. It's not conducive to winning baseball. It seems like.
Don't understand if you wait to hear from Rob Thompson to get an explanation, you don't get one. He explains nothing.
I haven't seen a press conference of his.
You're
once this year, and I don't know if I did it all last year.
You haven't missed anything. So at least you got that going for you. You have not missed a thing. So, hey, there is a exercise about the NFL. We're going to go through it next, and you're welcome to play along with us. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. I love the Bet Park Sportsbook. They bring you John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. You know, the Summer of Love Happy Hour is there at your local PJs, and it is in full swing right now. Fall in love all over again this summer at your local PJs with great happy hour specials. Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. You'll love PJ's food, drinks, and the people. And they'll take great care of you at your local PJs, whichever one it is. Don't know which. You have so many within your reach, Bob.
It's awesome. Yeah, I have 3 within a 5-mile radius.
Do you have one that you say is your favorite though? Do you want to,
no,
or is
not
it like
favorite.
kids? You don't want to name which one's your favorite kid.
I like. We meet. There's one in Maple Shade, which is like 2 minutes from my house. We meet there for lunch a lot. It's great. There's one in Haddon Township, which might be the most popular one around me. It's always crowded.
That is
love that.
crowded.
The Cherry Hill one is perfect because I always run into some people I know. Well, usually at all of them, but it's just the PJs. You never have a bad experience at PJs.
All right, I want Connor. If you want to come in for this, you can. I want you all to pull up though, Bob and Pat. Pull up last year's playoff bracket for the NFL, so you have all the playoff teams in front of you. You haven't already done it for this exercise that's coming up. Adam Schefter likes to point out that 6 teams that made the playoffs the year before fail to make it back in on average. So there were 14 playoff teams in 2022. I want to know what 6 you're taking out. And more importantly, I want to know if we would all pretty much agree on the teams that aren't going back. So there are going to be 7 teams in each conference that make the playoffs. On average, 6 playoff teams do not go back the year after. That's a significant turnover. And I want to know if we toss a name out, is that one of the teams that we agree on? So, Bob, I'll let you start for the exercise. I've got mine listed, but I want to know if you guys are just going to knock out the same 6 teams that I have not going back. In case you forget and you're playing along in your car. The Chiefs were the 1 seed. The Bills were the 2 seed. The Bengals were the 3 seed. The Jags were the 4 seed. The Chargers, Ravens, and Dolphins were wild cards. I forgot the Dolphins being in the playoffs last year, except for that Bills game. In the NFC, the Eagles were the 1. San Francisco was the 2. The Vikings and the Buccaneers were the other 2 division winners at 3 and 4. Then Dallas was the 5 seed, followed by the Giants and the Seahawks. Who is not going back? My number 1 on the list that I immediately put down, I want to see if Bob Cooney nails it with the first pick.
I'm going Tampa is not making the playoffs this year.
My number 1. Okay, very good. So, Tampa, Connor, you agree with that?
Absolutely. That was my first pick, too.
So that was your first pick, too?
Yeah.
Pat, would you agree? Tampa?
Yeah,
not going back.
They're trash.
All right, my number 2 pick. Pat, I'll let you take a shot at it. My number 2 pick. Team that's not going back to the playoffs.
I'm going to go with the New York Giants.
And that was my number 2. Bob? Connor's nodding his head. Was that your 2?
Yeah, it was.
So that was like you immediately thought Tampa and the Giants.
They're in shambles with the Saquon thing.
Okay, well, I don't think that's going to last.
I don't know.
I do not. He's not sitting out
He can come back and play, but there's damage has been done.
Remember, if he sits out training camp, he's getting fined every day significant cash, too.
Yeah, but he's on this hole, and all of the running backs are. This is not a normal holdout. They're Cape Crusaders for their position. They see it falling apart, so that could be a very bad situation.
Bob, were you unanimous on the Giants?
Yeah.
Okay,
Giants
we're all
one
there.
of my 6.
Okay, number 3, not making it. Now it gets a little tougher. My number 3 on my list, will Connor be able to pick it?
I think my brother and mom root for them, the Minnesota Vikings.
I absolutely had him as my 3. Now, this is easier than I thought.
I don't know. They were 13-4 last year.
They're not that good.
Okay.
I had him as my 3.
That's a big fall off to say they're not going to make the playoffs after going 13-4.
The division got better. Even with Rodgers leaving, that division got more competitive because the Bears are going to be better. The Lions are going to be better. That's going to be a tough division for the Vikings to win.
And I got to tell you, I like Kirk Cousins, the person, more after watching QB, the quarterback show. But Kirk Cousins, the professional quarterback, I like less. He doesn't seem desperate to win.
He takes Tuesdays off.
Yes. He doesn't seem...
He's with Maury.
That's terrible. Pat, are you voting Vikings? Because then that'd be 3. You are not.
No.
Wow.
I think that division is completely up for grabs, but I think the Vikings right now are
Will still be a playoff team.
probably the best team, yeah.
Okay, so this is good. So we got.
I don't have Minnesota either.
So you don't have Minnesota either. So
No.
Tampa and the Giants. All right, I have my fourth team on my list, Bob. Would you like to try? By the way, my first three were NFC, which I think is telling for the Eagles. The three teams that made the playoffs, I'm going, yeah, they're not that good. They made it last year. They're not making it again. Give me a fourth team that's not going back.
I'm going to stay in the NFC,
Okay?
and I'm going to go Seattle.
You're going to go Seattle.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Seattle does not
way
make
to
it.
be, Connor.
You say Seattle does not make it.
I also agree.
Wow, you guys are unanimous on Seattle.
Are you not?
I did not have them. No.
How do they my thing is
Because
Geno
the division
Smith.
is so bad, they have two teams in their division where they should be able to pick up 4 wins. The Rams and the Cardinals are two teams that are literally tanking
Okay.
in their division. It gives them 4, and they were a good team last year.
They were a good team because their quarterback was a flash in the pan like we haven't seen in a minute.
I can't see that again from him.
All right.
I honestly
can't see him doing it
No, I
again?
can't see Geno Smith doing that again.
My 4 team was the Ravens.
I have the Ravens also.
I considered they're right on the outside.
You have
of
to
it.
have 6.
Got to
I
have
know.
6.
Okay, all right.
So you got to have 6. So the Ravens were my 4 team. I did not have the one you had there. So let's go to another one. Try to pick my 5. Who's my 5th team? Pat.
Oh, God. I will go with, the 15's tough.
It is. It's really tough.
I'll go with Chargers.
I'm going to go Chargers also.
Yeah, I had only because we have to pick. They
Yes.
were number 5 on my list.
And
I
this
can
is
only
it.
come up with 4 teams, honestly.
Yeah,
So that's the thing is that it's real. I said this is a really hard exercise because I drew a line after the Ravens. I didn't want to put the Chargers, but you have to do it for a 6-team
Really?
exercise.
I think there's another easier one.
Who?
Miami.
Okay, because of the fact that the Jets rose
That division is
and Buffalo's there.
dangerous.
Okay, I understand that.
Miami was my
I think Miami's
6th one
good.
also. Yeah,
I don't have
So Miami was yours because also Miami was my 6th one.
Yeah, I mean they're good.
But you
That's the
say
thing.
easy though. You
Yes.
said that's an easy pick.
Yes.
So you absolutely don't think they're making it.
That could be. They could vie for the best division in football right there in the AFC East. That's going to be tough with the Jets taking wins away from them and also competing, and the Bills are still going to be good. It's just a tough division. It's not a condemnation of the team,
Right.
but more how tough their path is going to be.
I think it's a really hard process. When we talk to Adam tomorrow, he loves to bring this up and talk about this. We really didn't. It's not easy to find. None of us feel comfortable saying 6 teams are missing that made it last year, right? None of us are. You guys are all on Seattle, and I was not. I'm sort of getting suckered in a little bit, and that could change by the time the season comes. But we're all not comfortable saying 6 teams are not going back.
no. If I was comfortable, it
You would
would
say
be
how many?
Tampa and Tampa.
Well, no, you're
I mean Tampa maybe, and the Giants, and that's probably it.
I thought
Comfortable.
I was comfortable. Tampa Giants I was comfortable with.
I'm comfortable with Tampa, Giants, Seattle, and the Chargers.
You Chargers. Hey.
Yeah, I'm probably.
Every year it's the Chargers are like
Oh,
that
yes.
darling team, and they just crap the bed.
Yeah, I'm probably looking at Tampa Bay, Giants, Seattle. I feel pretty good about Minnesota not making it too.
I really do too.
They're right on the edge of like that transition. Kirk Cousins isn't the guy. Dalvin Cook wants out. You're
I
gonna
think
have
they
to pay
may
Justin
be the.
Jefferson.
I think
Dalvin
they
Cook
may
is
be.
out.
I think they may
Yeah.
be 4th place.
Yeah, they have no running game.
They may
So-
be 4th. Dalvin Cook signed somebody?
No, I'm saying like he's a free agent still,
No, I got you.
so they don't have a running game.
No, they don't.
I mean, Alexander Mattison, like that's gross. So, but that division's not great.
Guy's saying today, he goes, "How can you question his professionalism of Kirk Cousins?" Saying to me here on social media, I'm going to tell you right there is that watching that show, look how Patrick Mahomes attacks being a quarterback in the NFL, and look how Kirk Cousins
Yeah,
does.
I don't think it's questioning his professionalism. I think that a player like Kirk Cousins needs to do more than what you think the average quarterback is doing. And it seems like he's putting in the work that everybody else is. Like if I'm Kirk Cousins and I constantly come up short first round of the playoffs, I'm in the film room a billion hours a day. It's not that he's not doing the job. It's that he needs to do more, and I don't know if he has more.
How does Kevin O'Connell, now he's a young coach, how does Kevin O'Connell let him have Tuesdays off?
I mean,
how does the starting quarterback of your team get an extra day off a week?
He preempts him. I don't know.
I mean, they went 13-4 last year, and it's kind of like, are you going to question? I don't know. But Saquon Barkley update just signed this morning, 1 year, $11 million.
So he did.
Yeah, just a half hour ago.
Wait, why would he sign 1 year, $11 million? Can't they franchise him again next year? Or can't they?
Yeah, you have 2 years. Yeah, they could.
I mean, I don't know. That's
weird situation.
Well, at least it's fixed. Like for Giant fans, at least it's fixed.
I mean,
we were rooting for more. Yeah, a little bit. Good job, Connor. Hey, 7 a.m. hours brought to you by the all-new Bet Parks app. Sportsbook and casino in one sleek, easy-to-use app. You got to love it. Now, Connor watched the game last night.
Unfortunately.
And in case you didn't, Connor's got the Phillies, the game for you in 97.5 seconds.
Play ball.
The Phillies welcome the Orioles to the bank for a 3-game set with Christopher Sanchez on the mound facing off against Dean Kramer. Sanchez has been outstanding this year, but has not gotten much help from his teammates. Last night was not much different. The Orioles got on the board first with a solo homer in the second, and it took the Phillies till the 5th inning to answer.
Kyle Schwarber, who is grounded out and he's walked today. Fly ball short left center field. Kowser makes the catch. Stubbs is coming home. The throw to the plate. Cut off. We're tied up at 1. Sack fly for Schwarber. It's a 1-1 game.
1 run in 5 innings off of a guy with a near 5 ERA is not going to get the job done, though. It also doesn't help when your starting shortstop does this.
Trey Turner's got a chance to give the Phillies the lead.
Called strike 3. And Turner in the face of home plate umpire Will Little.
You saw the discussion, and then eventually he throws him out, and Trey's like, what are you talking about? I threw my bat and my helmet to the bat boy.
Yeah, Turner finished his night 0 for 3 with 2 errors and some hearty boos from the home crowd. Sanchez would give up one more run, but he finished his night with career highs at 7 innings pitched and 8 strikeouts. The Phillies tried to create some magic in the 8th and nearly did.
Castellanos will face Brian Baker. And a line drive out to left center field. That's a base hit. Schwarber will score. Harper's going to third. He's being waved home. Here's the throw to the plate. It's offline. He is out at home plate. Oh, my.
Yeah, but poor base running, fielding, and offense all hurt the Phils last night. Rob Thompson then chose not to replace the worst defensive player in all of baseball with the game on the line. Ball just out of Kyle Schwarber's reach led to the winning run for the Orioles in the 9th. And an awful night for the Phillies was capped with their 4th loss in 5 games.
Good job, Connor Thomas. That summarized it. Was a nasty night. Nasty night.
Yeah,
Not
it wasn't fun.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. And we all vented today a little bit, so. Hey, the Fanatic deal of the week, again, make sure you get it. It is that Arnold's Family Fun Center. Get a $100 point card to Arnold's Family Fun Center for just $50. Located in Oaks, you'll love it. Arnold's Family Fun Center, 200,000 square feet of action-packed adventure. Fun seekers of all ages will enjoy endless excitement. Check out this exclusive offer now at 97.5thefanatic.com. Keyword deal. You will absolutely love it. All right, Santa's in a giving mood, boys. Giving mood. And even though it is 5 months to Christmas, he's going to give you a gift. He's going to get us out of one sports contract for a player or mandate that a player signs an extension for our favorite team. You get one or the other. We can collaborate if we wish on what you want to do. He'll get you out of an existing contract for one of our teams, or he will mandate that the player who is under contract with us right now signs an extension so we won't lose them. So what are you doing? I have my player in mind, and it's an extension that I've chosen.
That's what I did also.
Pat, have you chosen an extension or to get out of a deal with somebody?
I'm still thinking.
Pat's still scheming over there? All right, Bob, give me yours, and we'll see if it matches.
I need to give this kid a $10 million or a 10-year contract.
10 years.
I want to extend him that long. I want him to be a starter here for that long. Not a guy that you build around, but that you build with. I call it a foundational piece. And Mr. Bryson Stott, step on up because I'm giving you an extension. I do not want you leaving.
10-year deal for Bryson Stott.
Hell yeah.
Take advantage of it by giving him the long-term deal. Give him
a
the
long-term
security.
deal.
Get
You
him
get a little
buy
bit.
out those years.
Sure. Yeah.
The cheaper years. I like that. I went to the Eagles.
Okay.
I know exactly who you
Yes,
went to.
he was second on my list. Oh.
I think I do.
Okay, give it a shot.
Devontae Smith.
It's not.
That's who mine was.
It's not.
That was
It
my
is,
second
though.
call.
No, it's not.
It
No,
is.
you
John,
just
just
changed your opinion.
admit
It is. Just admit it, dude.
It's Landon Dickerson.
Oh, that's crap.
I want Landon Dickerson locked down to a long-term deal.
That's pretty good.
Because I think then when you've got those foundational pieces along the line, I've listened to Andy Reid, Pat. I grew up at Andy Reid's bosom and learned that the offensive line and the defensive line are the biggest. He's got bosoms, too. He does. And Andy Reid always believed to make sure you're building around that. So I
He has a
believe
nipple,
that
John. Does that?
he does. I tried to stay away from that.
I thought we had that as a
A lot
job.
of red hair. So and there you go.
We don't.
There you go. Mine was Landon Dickerson, and yes, I did consider Devontae, but I think they'll take care of Devontae anyway. So that goes right there. Pat, are you getting out of a contract or are you giving an extension?
If you're getting out, I know who it is. I think.
I'm not getting out of a contract.
Okay, so you're doing an extension.
Although, who do you think it is if I was?
Let's think Philadelphia Flyers.
Wow.
Certain defenseman.
Yeah, Rasmus Ristolainen.
Yeah.
It's a horrible contract, but no, there's no saving that team. I am going to extend Hassan Reddick. He's only got 2 years left.
It's a great one.
I like Bryson Stott. I like the idea of it. I thought about Alec Boehm, but he's got 3 years left of arbitration. I haven't looked at Stott, but he probably has like 5 years left of arbitration. There's no real onus to extend those guys. So Hassan Reddick, I don't want him entering the last year of his contract without an extension.
I love that. So you get him and you lock him down, make him comfortable. Got that good. I did wonder about if anybody would choose Trey Turner.
Not yet.
It's a long, long deal, which
not
that's a
yet.
long. I understand, but it's a long deal. And if you had that one time to go, you know what? That's a long-term commitment, and right now he's deer in the headlights. I personally feel he'll turn it around. I just don't know what he's going to turn it around to. Is he going to end up turning it around to being a huge impact player? I'm not sure. And I'm hoping that this year will bring us something like that as we move towards
I'm
it.
sure there are people out there that would absolutely say, get me out of this contract.
I just think it's a little too early.
Yeah, I would say so.
But October, I may change my opinion.
I'm not going to change my opinion until next
In 1 year, because of the Castellanos thing?
Yeah, and also like we've seen every player have a down year. So I'm not going to jump to the conclusion of all of a sudden he can't play baseball.
Well, I got to tell you, best players in the game, like he's been like a top 10, top 15 player in the game for at least 2 or 3 years of his career. I've rarely seen them ever have a year this bad. If I look at the back of their baseball cards in the prime of their career, and I worry because he's not a youngster. Not young.
No, he just turned 30 in June.
So
yeah, less than a month ago turned 30.
concerned.
So
but it's too early to pull the trigger on that.
I
one.
think so.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Hopefully it turns around. All right, good job, Santa. We appreciate that. Hey, in Cooney's Corner, Bob wants to give out a gift. It's like Christmas.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's Corner.
We're working your fingers to the bone today, aren't we, Pat?
What do you get?
There's a lot of stuff going on here.
When you work your fingers to the bone, what do you get, Pat?
Carpal tunnel.
Bony fingers. That's the song. There's a song,
there?
a country music song.
Oh, it's country. That's why
Yes.
I don't listen to it because
There
it's
you go.
trash.
I was going to say, please don't
It's
sing
trash.
it, but I can tell you
oh my
want
gosh.
to.
No, no. I've heard my father sing it, but no.
Oh, it's an old song.
Oh, it's real old.
Oh, really? I never heard it.
Real old. I don't know who it
Like,
was.
was it Burl Ives or something
my dad
like that?
used to
Like-
listen to like 1520. There was down at the far end of the AM dial, there was
Oh,
country
yeah?
music on the AM. My
about
dad
that?
was country before country was cool.
My dad never listened to the radio.
My dad loved country music.
Huh. All right. Yeah, we're giving out gifts, okay?
Okay?
You have 4 major coaches in this city. Jim Curtin, we're leaving you out of it because you don't need a gift because you're so good at what
And
you
he just
do.
got a new extension, so he got
his gift. I need you to give a gift to each of the 4 head coaches in this town. Like, I'll give you an example. If Andy Reid was still here, you might say, all right, Andy, I'm giving you this gift. It's a book on clock management.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
Or I'm giving you a gift card to the local Wawa where you can go get a ham and cheese sandwich. You know, something like that. So anyway, of the 4 coaches that we have here right now, I will lay out the coach. You tell me what gift you're going to give him. I'm going to start with the guy that's under fire right now, Rob Thompson.
I would give Rob Thompson a lunch date. I would send him on a lunch date with, I'm trying to think of the manager that I want him to sit with. I'd want him to sit with an alt, like go back and sit with, I'll let him sit with one of his peers, Brian Snicker, and just say, you're overthinking this.
I would sit him with Earl Weaver.
Yeah, I think Earl's dead.
That's okay.
Okay, the ghost of Earl Weaver? No, I like that. Just
Earl Weaver,
Rob,
past Earl Weaver. Just, a little.
Set a lineup. Let guys do their thing. Don't get in the middle of everything. Like, you're overthinking this way too much.
Pat, how about you? What would you give Rob Thompson? It's Christmas in July. You're giving him a present. What is it?
Oh, that's a good one, like a lunch date with somebody.
I wanted to have him have a chance to think.
A lineup card that doesn't feature Kyle Schwarber.
That's it. So you blacked it out?
That's almost what I had. I had the gift of using your eraser to take Schwarber out of number 1 and put him down at number 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be.
And we're gonna see how stubborn he is today.
All right, Nick Sirianni.
For Nick Sirianni. You know what I'd like for Nick Sirianni is I don't know how to say it. Gosh. I'd like to give him the gift of perspective to not kick that field goal in the Super Bowl. That somebody, again, counsel that the awareness that all year long you did something and you didn't go for it on a 4th down. You kicked the field goal in the Super Bowl out of character, and I think he'd want that one back. I would give him the opportunity.
You'd give him the gift of that play back.
To have that play back.
All right, fair enough.
Because I think if he had it back, he'd go for it on 4th down. He did it all year long.
All right, Pat, you got a gift for your man Nick Sirianni?
Initially I thought I'm going to give him a veteran linebacker.
Oh, that'd be nice.
And a safety, but I don't think, you said reasonable. I don't think they're reasonable things.
Okay.
Because we're talking like that's going to cost you millions of dollars.
Right.
So I'm going to go with an edible arrangement because I don't think edible arrangement has ever shown up and people don't smile. They're delicious, and I think it'll bring a smile to his face. If you want, and he's not in the mood for fruit that's in the shape of flowers, we can go with a PJ Wellhan's happy hour. Because very similar to the edible arrangement, it brings people joy.
And he lives over by the one in Haddon Township.
But I mean, like that man deserves a little bit of a thank you, and I think that would be a good way to thank him. I don't really have any complaints with him.
And when Nick Sirianni goes to a PJ's, he has a beer. He does not have a seltzer.
Yeah,
he's a beer drinker.
I could see him being a beer drinker.
He's a beer drinker. No, he is. We've seen him on some of the pictures. He's a beer
he
drinker.
was at my buddy's bar.
He likes a beer, which is great. That's awesome.
Let's go, John Tortorella.
Oh, man. What I would love for John Tortorella is a veteran defenseman that levels people in front of the net.
I went sniper. I'm giving you a sniper. I'm giving you a guy that you can pencil in is going to get you more than the 30 goals. Now,
I got you.
I'm 40-plus guy. I'm giving you a 40-plus sniper guy. How about you, Pat, for torts?
Well, once again, you guys, you can't pick and choose here. You're talking about reasonable, and now you want,
we're having fun. It's Christmas in July.
Isn't fun. You want reasonable, I'll give you reasonable. I'm giving him an Enya CD.
An Enya CD?
Maybe some Kenny G.
So he could just chill a little bit?
Just so he chills out, because it's going to be a rough season. It's not going to be a lot of fun. There's not going to be a lot of frivolity. Not a lot of loud laughter going on.
So all like chanting and stuff? Does that have like the chanting on it?
No, it's more of a who.
Oh yeah.
Only time. I want him in his to chill out a little bit and realize that there is light at the end of this tunnel. You're just not there yet.
Okay.
And that's going to cost you like $10.
That's nice. I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Last but not least, Nick Nurse.
Oh, I absolutely know what I want for Nick Nurse. I want James Harden out of his locker room. I will.
That's reasonable.
I will get James Harden out of his locker room. Let him start with professional athletes that want to be professionals. As James chows down on his hamburgers.
Patrick?
No, you go first.
All right. For Nick Nurse, I want them to find a player that can beat people off the dribble and attack the rim.
Oh, wow.
A player like they haven't seen over the last few years. I want one of them, preferably 6'5" and above.
I like that. A little specific, but I like it.
Yeah.
I would love to see that for Nick Nurse, especially with his offense. That would change everything.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the lunch date,
Okay.
like you talked about. But Nick Nurse is going to sit down with Larry Brown.
Oh, that's
and
good.
Figure out how to use key role players to end up going far. And
I
making
love
a
that
run.
one.
That's pretty good. I got a good one on our YouTube real quick. Jimmy
What's
G
that?
for the Flyers. Michkov to get out of his Russian contract. Matvey Michkov.
Now he's going to have to, in a couple years, maybe.
Well,
Right?
it's a Christmas
He wants
gift.
it now?
He wants it? Yeah, sure.
I don't think he's ready for the
When you
NHL.
No, probably
Oh,
not.
he's
It's
ready.
probably the best
You think
thing.
he's ready?
You think he's
Yeah.
ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he could step into that and perform.
It'd be better for him to put some more meat on his bones, right?
I don't think he
No?
really needs it. No, I think he's proven all he has to prove in the KHL.
I think it's tremendous. Can't wait for him to be here. I love hearing Jamie say, Michkov.
Oh, he's all Michkov'd up.
He is. All right, we're going to talk about a team that Pat sees as interesting. I see them as interesting, too. John Kincade Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. What do you think of...
WPEN Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
You know, FanFest is right around the corner with Bob's buddies at FanDuel Sportsbook. Coming up
it's going to be awesome, Johnny.
Saturday, August 26th from 11 to 5 at Xfinity Live. Not as fun as Christmas in July that we're having today, but FanFest is going to be awesome. 10th anniversary, too. Our headliner act is Ray Schwimmerd, and it will be a announcement coming very, very soon about the main act of the night, afternoon, and I will tell you it will have tongues wagging. A very good name, tongues wagging act.
Yeah, I brought up the name, not associating it with FanFest to someone that I know, and when I brought their name, they're sick.
See that? I like that.
I don't know how we afforded Kenny G, but
it was pretty amazing.
He is going to rock out with that saxophone.
I mean, and you're going to join him, I heard? You're practicing?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I can twerk to a sax.
I got to tell you something.
Sax leads to sax.
Being that it's Christmas in July right now, John, and we're talking about FanFest.
You're going to give something away?
I'm giving 5 pairs of tickets away again right now.
You're like Santa Claus.
Right now. I got the white beard going. 215-263-0975. 215-263-0975. You and you and you and you can get 2 tickets to FanFest.
Jeez, you're wild.
He's like Oprah.
I am. And you get 2 tickets.
You're like Oprah without Gail. You don't have Gail.
It's funny. I heard Andrew talking to somebody on the afternoon show yesterday, and they were disagreeing about something, and all of a sudden, Chunas goes, yeah, okay, well, you want to have a beer at FanFest? The guy's like, yeah, okay, I don't have tickets. You do now.
You do now, yeah.
Yeah, so Chunas and I have a tradition at FanFest where we go walking around 10:30 in the morning and, go to the different tailgates and play some cornhole and say hi to all the good people and stuff like that. So he's carrying it to a new level now.
It's good. That's good.
It's
Get
great.
out and meet the people.
Yeah.
Hey, if you snore, Sleep Healthy PA may be for you. If you think you have sleep apnea, check out sleephealthypa.com. It's a sleep solution you've been looking for. That's sleephealthypa.com. So yesterday, quickly, my hometown of Broomall, Pennsylvania, had a 48-year murder solved that has haunted that town forever. Because it was I was a year older than Gretchen Harrington when she disappeared, and I feel for her family now. At least they have resolution as to who was responsible for her death. He's been accused, and he's admitted it. He has made a full confession. 48 years later, isn't it amazing now though, with DNA and with. And then this one didn't use the DNA. This one just used someone speaking up. That 48 years later, they're solving crimes. It seems like we see this every week now, where they go back and they take old samples of clothing and they find stuff. It's amazing to me that I think this may cut down on murder and stuff like that in the future, because now people are starting to get caught. Like they're getting caught for stuff that they thought they got away with. This man thought he got away with this for 48 years, and now he's caught. That amazes me.
What
and by
amazes
the way, good
me is how do you live with yourself?
He's a monster.
How do you live with yourself when you commit murders and crimes? Not only what the heinous act that you've done, but that there's somebody searching for you all the time.
Like I would think every time you see a cop car, you're thinking they're coming to get you.
Yeah.
They're looking at you. The weird thing was, too, is the guy who committed the murder was 2 miles from my radio station in Atlanta. Like right there, like it's like you don't know where people are. You don't know where people go. He turned a town upside down. They had not had a murder on record, and had this. So great police work and great getting that job done. In Pat's point of view, Pat wants to talk about the Jets.
This is Pat's point of view. Here's Pat.
The Jets.
Yeah, the Jets are going to be this year's team on Hard Knocks. I believe Schefter kind of hinted at it a couple weeks ago, and
they are.
It got announced officially. What's your interest level in watching this? Because Hard Knocks to me used to be the only good thing about training camp. I mean, I would look forward to Hard Knocks on HBO every Tuesday night. It was appointment television. And then as the years have gone on, it's just gotten to be a bad product. And it's probably a little bit of the NFL stepping in and their editing process. But it used to be really captivating television because they would, focus on 2 or 3 younger players, undrafted free agents that might make the team. And then it just pivoted. And now it's, the younger player that, quote, might make the team. Well, you got introduced to him in week 3. You're like, well, there's no shot of him making the team. I just saw him a week ago. You haven't brought him up once. He's not making the team. We don't need this drama and the music bed and all that crap. So for me, I'd like to say that I'm interested because I think the Jets with Rex Ryan was probably one of the best ones they've ever done. But I'm not. And I think the big part of it is the character was Rex Ryan in the Jets season. It was Rex Ryan and it was Revis holding out. And then Mike Tannenbaum was entertaining enough. But this year, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is enough to get me to really dial in every single Tuesday appointment television, or if it's going to be something where, I'm bored, I'll put on an episode and check it out. But other than that, I'm not really going to watch it. And that's what it's been for me the last couple of years.
I'm giving it a shot because of the fact that I think the Jets are a really good team. I think they have a chance to be a top 5 team in the AFC. So I'm going to give it a shot because of that. And Aaron Rodgers is so weird. I'm interested to see it too.
Yeah, the newness of it. You got a behind-the-scene look at how a training camp is run. That's what attracted me, the newness. And then when you got to another year and it was kind of the same thing, and another year. And then one person ruined it for me.
Who?
John Gruden.
Why?
When they did, who was he coaching then? The Raiders,
the
I
Raiders.
guess. And they had him in meetings, and every time he said something that he wanted them to respond to and tap your pencils. I know it sounds stupid and trivial, but it was like, all right, I'm done with them just trying stuff now.
It was like banging the desk or something, some crap.
Yeah, it literally was. It was tap your pencil on your desk. Wasn't that what it was?
I don't think it was pencil because it was louder than that.
It was something where
it was like bang your feet.
Something had to be you made.
I thought it was whatever, but it just got to me like, okay, they're just, this is trying too hard now. No, I'm not saying he was doing that for Hard Knocks or whatever. The newness of it was great, but they lost me up until when Gruden came in. That's when they lost me, when I was just like, nah.
That wasn't a great season.
I shouldn't let one person ruin it for me, but it kind of did. I will go in because I find Aaron Rodgers a little fascinating. Like I
find him fascinating because he's
playing the golf. I thought he was pretty cool, like just a cool dude that I'd sit and have a beer with. I don't care if he goes off and does anything else on his own time. I think he's seems to be a pretty.
I'm surprised you say that.
You don't think he's cool?
No, I think he's incredibly odd. Like I think he's exactly the opposite of cool. I think he's fascinating, and I think he's interesting. Like I don't think he's.
And I think he's just like a down-to-earth, yeah, you want to go get stoned? Go get stoned. I don't care. I don't do that. But you want to sit around and have a beer and talk football or sports or golf or whatever, I think you'd be down with that. I'm looking forward to looking at this one.
Like, I don't think Brady's cool.
No, I don't. But he's got a new girlfriend who's pretty cool, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't think Brady's cool. I think that there are some guys, like I think Josh Allen would be cool to hang out with. I think Joe Burrow would be cool to hang out with.
Oh, they announced the 3 guys. Did you see that?
What, the new ones?
For quarterback 2?
No.
Man, I must have been all over Twitter yesterday.
They did announce it?
Yeah, I didn't see this at all.
I saw it on Twitter. It's Josh Allen. Now, it doesn't fit the form of what we thought.
Okay.
Of, like great and media.
Right.
Because Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers were both there. And I forget who the third one was.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it like a younger player?
Someone knows it. Someone knows it in the YouTube that's in it.
Yeah, I got to thank.
Really? I didn't see it announced.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. So I got to thank our YouTube people and one of our bosses, Paul Blake. They were the ones that alerted me to Saquon Barkley signing this morning.
Well, there you go.
All you guys, all you cool dudes on YouTube and Paul Blake, appreciate it.
Paul Blake's a Penn Stater. So he probably has his Penn State.
Used to really like Paul.
Has his underoos. He's got his Penn State underoos, all that kind of stuff. Penn State probably dog mat. I'm sure they got it.
I'm just going to leave it at
something at that.
I used to like Paul, but you can continue to dig your own grave.
Hey, 2014, Pat. Did you watch the Falcons year?
I did.
Mike
and
Smith,
I like that year.
Mike Smith never got a head coaching job after Atlanta, and I think it was because he came off poorly in Hard Knocks.
You think so?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't think he came off poorly.
I thought he came off feckless, and I was surprised because I love Coach. Brian Cox got pretty much run out of the league as a linebacker coach because he says to his team, stay away from my daughter on social media. And then he says, yeah, I lost my virginity at 12. I think they were trying to say stuff that was going to get them on Hard Knocks. That was going to be exciting. And then Keith Armstrong, one of my classmates from Temple, was the special teams coach. He went on to be a Super Bowl champ with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had that giant tirade where he screamed at them and took the paint off the wall. And I think it's why he never has been a head coach, because it came off like a clown show. And that's not Keith. Like, it was weird. I think they all were trying to – I think knowing the cameras are there, Bob, they try to do things differently.
You'd hope not.
They try to camp.
They do a pretty good job of hiding the cameras. You know, they put them in the office. And
like Keith had a meltdown that
you don't really see it.
I'm shocked. Like, I was shocked when I saw it. I said, wow, that doesn't seem like Keith.
Well, it's a high-pressure job.
Yeah. Cameras do weird things to people sometimes. You know, it's
I saw a thing
tough.
with HBO where like they kind of showed you how they do it, and it's not like a cameraman walking around. They put cameras in the building,
and they're mounted.
Yeah, I mean you might not even notice them. I don't know.
Believe me, I can tell you that whole year they all knew, that coaching staff all knew they were on Hard Knocks. They were all very wary of it, like concerned about it. Thomas Dimitrov, who's joined us on the show before, they were very, very anxious about it, hoping that nobody would have a big miscue.
I didn't. Nothing about that season jumped out in terms of like looking bad. I'm trying to think. The guy that I thought looked really bad was Joe Philbin.
Joe Philbin, the Dolphins guy.
Because, he was Aaron Rodgers' OC in Green Bay, gets the job, takes over, drafts Ryan Tannehill, and he was so incredibly unsure and reserved about every single decision. It would be like he'd sheepishly come over to his assistant coach. Well, I think he's throwing the ball pretty good. I guess. I don't know. I mean, that's what I think.
Just indecisive.
But that's what. There was no conviction in his voice, in his decision making. They signed David Garrard, and they decided to make Ryan Tannehill the starting quarterback when he clearly wasn't ready. It was just I thought he came off hard. Like, if I had watched Hard Knocks as a GM, I'm not hiring that guy as a coach.
Yeah, Mike Smith never got a job again, and he had one of the highest winning percentages. He's been out of it for a while now, so. Not good. I got a list of, because it's one of the things I worry about is the fact that there are, like, the top 50 list came out from Pro Football Focus, and as you know, I am a detractor of Pro Football Focus. So I'm letting it be known there. I have a bias. I am a detractor of it. I don't think that they are incredibly accurate or do really great analyses. That's for me. You can decide otherwise for yourself. But the idea of that they found that their Jalen Hurts was not a top 50 player in the NFL, to me was just, it's high comedy, or it's just, you absolutely have no idea what you're talking about. That Jalen Hurts wouldn't be a top 50 player. I'm absolutely floored. Can't believe that. So that's a little adds to that bias. But then it got me wondering, there must be a lot of people who believe, and even around Pro Football Focus, that he is a one-and-done type of guy, that we're going to be talking about Jalen Hurts going to a Super Bowl last year as the crowning moment of his career, and everything is going to go downhill from here for Jalen Hurts. I've got the list of one-and-done quarterbacks of the modern era, so I'm only going back this generation. So I'll go back 20 years. Here are the one-and-done quarterbacks for the Super Bowl. I want you to tell me at the end of his career how many of these guys Jalen Hurts will be better than. All right, so that's the parameter. At the end of Jalen Hurts' career, he will have a better career than these one-and-done quarterbacks. By the way, in the modern era, there are 10. Donovan McNabb. Will Jalen Hurts have a better career than Donovan McNabb when all is said and done?
Wow,
that's a hard. I gave you the hardest. Tough. I gave you the hardest one first. Wait, how about the? Let's go back. Let's work from the back. Matthew Stafford. He's won a Super Bowl, but that's about it. A lot of numbers.
A lot of numbers. Yeah.
Well,
Huge numbers.
That's how you're probably going to be judging this at the end of the day. Like that's what I was trying to
But
think
you
of.
can judge it any way you want.
Yeah. It's tough because Jalen Hurts has wide receivers and Donovan McNabb really never did.
Yeah, well,
He had
go
it towards the end of his career. That's why I'm trying to work it out.
Well, let's go. We're going to go Stafford's end first. We're going to go from the other end. Matt Stafford. At the end of his career,
Stafford's
is Jalen
won a
Hurts.
Super Bowl.
Yes. Stafford's already got the Super Bowl win, but he doesn't have playoff wins. Like he has 3 playoff wins, I believe.
I'll go yes.
So you go, Hurts will be better than Stafford. I think Hurts will be considered better than Stafford also. When all said and done.
I could jump on that.
Garoppolo. Absolutely, Hurts will be better.
I think so, yeah.
Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Hurts will be better. Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Hurts will be better.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
So you say he will be considered better.
I don't know if the numbers will stand up because Ryan put up a lot of great numbers
tons
for
of
a
numbers.
lot of years.
You got to win a Super Bowl to get ahead of them. They both have the loss.
That's a good one.
Where do you go,
Matt
Ryan
Ryan's
Stafford?
a Hall of Famer.
Where do you go, Ryan Stafford?
Ryan Stafford.
I put Ryan above Stafford.
Yeah, I think so too.
Cam Newton.
Will he have a better
career? I think Jalen will have a better career.
Yeah.
He's a better passer.
Yeah, longevity will have something
Bob
to do with it also.
Bob, you bring up a good point, though, about Matt Ryan. I immediately went yes.
And Ryan's going to be a Hall of
He's a Hall of Famer.
He's going to end up a Hall of Famer.
And that leaves me a little bit of pause on Matt Ryan.
Cam
Newton's not going to be a Hall of Famer, but
Colin Kaepernick. Yes.
Yeah.
Rex Grossman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Matt Hasselbeck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Donovan McNabb. That's the hard one.
It is hard. McNabb won an awful lot.
McNabb won a ton of playoff games. He has a
you're
Super Bowl
basically
loss.
saying he's going to be the best quarterback in franchise history. Hurts is if you say he's going to be better.
It's a lot to. That's a lot to say right now about Jalen Hurts. I can't say it with Donovan McNabb. I can't say it yet.
If his progression continues to go
this year, I might be able to say it next year.
Yeah. It's so hard because this time 5 years ago we were saying that Carson Wentz was the next greatest quarterback in this franchise history. It's just so hard. But if the projection continues to go the way it is, with him being surrounded, as Pat so perfectly said, by really good receivers, which McNabb did not have, I guess I'd have to lean towards Hurts.
I can't.
I'll lean
I
towards
can't
Hurts
now though.
Because but now.
No, not now.
Right
I can't.
now.
It's way too early,
but in a year you might. In a year I might.
I don't know.
If we're in, how about this? If we're in Vegas in February, which I think we're going to be, I absolutely could to talk about it next year. If he goes to another Super Bowl in his third year as a starter, goes to 2 Super Bowls, and maybe he wins this one. By the way, he will win this one. I think he's going to win this one. To me, that's going to put him. The minute he wins the Super Bowl, he's ahead of McNabb.
Yeah,
you
know how I feel about these exercises. Like people, is he going to be a Hall of Famer after 2 years in the league, or is he going to be the best quarterback in franchise history after 2 years as a starter?
It's so hard.
Give me 5-6 year sample, and then you can start talking about it. I really just don't feel comfortable after 2 years. Saying, is he going to be?
But if he goes to the playoffs 3 consecutive years, wins. Let's say he wins or gets to another Super Bowl, he almost is. I mean, Donovan had a bunch of choke jobs in the playoffs, too, that come into play. Opportunities that were lost. And I am a huge Donovan McNabb fan. Like, Donovan McNabb, to me, is the greatest. He may be he's one of the greatest players, handful of players, to me, ever, that I've cheered for. And, but Donovan had a lot of moments on the big stage where I watched Jalen Hurts on that Super Bowl Sunday and said to myself, damn, Jalen has ice water in his veins. He is so cool. He's so calm. He's so confident. I don't think I ever said that about Donovan McNabb in a playoff game. Ever. The performance I saw in that Super Bowl was nothing short of spectacular from Jalen Hurts. And confident and swagger and gutsy. And I don't remember really ever saying that much about Donovan McNabb in the playoffs. And I love Donovan McNabb as a player. So It's difficult.
funny how the narrative could change. Like say Jalen Hurts gets to another Super Bowl and throws a very untimely interception or something. Then the narrative years down the road is going to change. Like, yeah, he got to the big one, but my God, he fumbled and they lost the game by 3. Threw an interception and another one. So it's just like that's why I need resumes. I can't do it off of just like that looks good for a year or two. I do. I need 5-6 years in my back pocket before I can say, all right, this guy's the best that ever was, or in this franchise. I can't project it out.
But you can already say it. What's it? 5 years of Mahomes? Is it 5?
I
think it's 5. I think it's 5 seasons of Mahomes. Maybe it's 6. I don't know. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, there are people talking about him being the greatest quarterback of all time. And I think they can make a very compelling case that that's going to be true. I don't know that it's true yet, but his accomplishments so far are freaking unbelievable.
Tom Brady retires, the greatest quarterback of all time. He's barely retired a year, and already people are supplanting him as the greatest quarterback of all time. This Mahomes, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be his 7th year.
So this is 7. So we got 6 years.
192 touchdowns to 49 interceptions.
Okay.
Thrown for 2,400 yards. You're talking about a guy that's
24,000 yards?
24,000 yards,
yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, you're talking about guys that have thrown for 70,000. So, the numbers have to accumulate. They just do. And longevity is a thing.
Okay, well, what if Mahomes plays 6 more years, wins 3 more Super Bowls, and walked away, or has an injury or something? I think you can make the case and say he's the greatest. I really do. I think he's going to end up in that discussion. But I get it where you're coming from. You need to see a hell of a lot more as far as that.
Yeah.
And the McNabb thing, Pat, almost had you speechless because that's a hard.
It's really tough. I mean, it's too early in his career.
You can't do it. You can't do it over McNabb. But you look at all the other ones.
Jalen Hurts has had one really good year and one mediocre bad year.
See, I don't think it was bad.
I mean,
the playoff year? 9-8?
Well, I mean, they had to take the ball really out of his hands to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think he had a bad year, but I get what you're saying. It wasn't. It looked nothing like last year. I mean, it's completely.
It gave you
it looked nothing
that going into year 2 that it was going to be this resounding success.
Like to put into perspective, Patrick Mahomes compared to the all-times, like I said, Patrick Mahomes hasn't even thrown for 25,000 yards. Yes, Super Bowls, that's great, and that's what you're working for and all.
5 championship game appearances,
Tom Brady threw for almost 90,000 yards, 89,000 yards, and the championships on top of it. That's why I'm saying you got to build up the resume. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is phenomenal, probably the best quarterback out there. To put him as the all-time greatest already, it's a little too relax and watch. Let's not project too far ahead. Let's enjoy the moment, John.
Santa has some family, stuff he wants to give away, more stuff, because he loves the John Kincade Show family. And Bob was talking to Santa yesterday, I understand. So we'll find out what that's all about coming up next. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. We're excited for the Fanatic's charity golf. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Thank you so much for making time for us today. I had to turn up the heat in here, Bob. I'm sorry if you wanted it cooler, but
It's all right.
it's just too cold in here. My gosh, this place is just freezing. Came in this morning, and it was set to blast furnace.
Oh, jeez.
And Connor
That
says
might be that Tom Alvord.
That's what Connor says. It was Tom Alvord that did it.
So
No, Devon likes it spicy.
but he's on vacation.
Devon's wasn't in.
Well, I didn't know that.
See? And I knew because the mic was mangled this morning. So I knew the mic mangler was in. That Tom Alvord. Hopefully he didn't steal anybody's lunch, too.
Wow, Tom's getting a bad rep.
Well, that was the stealing of the lunch was the whole scandal from the best show ever. Do you take somebody's lunch? If you find it, do you throw somebody's lunch out?
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, I can't do it either.
No.
So
I'm not the refrigerator czar.
hey, the U.S. Small Business Administration can help you start, manage, and grow your small business. Learn how at sba.gov/start. In Cooney's Corner, Bob was talking to Santa yesterday, I guess.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's Corner.
Yeah, I was. And he told me to pose this question to the two of you.
All right.
After he posed it to me, and I will give my answer on it. So I am going to ask you, this Phillies team, as currently assembled, not talking about getting a gift of adding something, as currently assembled from Christmases past, you get to give this Phillies team something that they've had in the past. What might it be? As currently assembled.
Oh, as currently assembled.
Something that a player or this team had before that they don't have now that you want to gift them.
I'll give them a player of the caliber of Jimmy Rollins at shortstop. All the attributes, more importantly, of Jimmy Rollins. Because I need the feistiness. I don't need the listlessness. I need the playing with sometimes a little bit of anger.
All right, so
I think it'd be a different locker room if Jimmy Rollins was there.
Well, but it has to be with this team currently assembled. You can't give them something.
I can't give them something.
The pair. You can give them something that they have. So I'll give you an example. Here's mine. I would give this team the Trey Turner of 2021, which means 195 hits, 107 runs scored.
I got you.
What do you have? 28 home runs, 77 RBIs, 32 stolen bases, and a 328 average. I think if I gifted the Phillies that, think about that. Think if Trey Turner was that right now,
It would
John.
have changed their record.
How good would this team be?
No, that would change their record amazingly.
Right?
No, that would be.
I was going to say the normal Trey Turner, which is a 296, close to a 300 hitter, a guy that averages about 15, 18 home runs, gets you 25, 30 stolen base. I was going to say that, but instead I went to one particular season of Trey Turner, and that was it, the Trey Turner of 2021.
All right, I'll take the 2021 Kyle Schwarber then.
Okay,
that's a good way to play it. I'll take Kyle Schwarber, who somehow managed to have an on-base percentage of 374 and a batting average of 266. With 32 home runs, which was still very, very impressive, 19 doubles. I'll take that Kyle Schwarber.
That's pretty good.
And 64 walks. I'll take that. Pencil that in, Kyle Schwarber. I'll take that one.
2021 total. Okay, I'm looking up his. Okay, yeah. All right, so he split the season between Washington and Boston.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 32 and 71 is pretty good. 266 is phenomenal.
Yes.
For him.
And phenomenal for him.
374, as you said, on base.
That's what I'll take.
Would that be a better gift than having the 2021 Trey Turner, or do you have even a better one?
No, my first thought was Trey Turner. My first thought before John did his Jimmy Rollins thing, because I did think about that. Because initially I thought that's what you could.
Misunderstood.
No, I misunderstood it too. So Bob did a horrible job with this. But
yeah, let's blame him.
Initially I thought, okay, well then
I blame Santa.
I want Jimmy Rollins. I thought, no, they already have a good shortstop. I want his confidence back. So I thought that the old Trey Turner would benefit this team more than Kyle Schwarber. But for this exercise and the purposes of picking somebody different, give me the Aaron Nola that finished third in the Cy Young that year.
I had him on my list also.
I got to look up what year it was. I want to say it was 2018.
So it was 20. I want to say it was 2018 when he went 17-6, a 2.37 ERA, 212 innings pitched.
It's the year that
a whip of .975.
Yeah, give me that guy. I don't think the pitching is the reason they're losing right now. But you guys already took the offensive pieces. So
it's the year that all of the Aaron Nola truthers hang on to. Well, you know that 1 year he was top 3 in in Cy Young voting. Yeah, he hasn't been top 20 in ERA once since. Like it's 1 year that was the aberration. That's the one that doesn't belong.
Well, he did finish 4th last year.
Yeah, finished 4th last year. Finished 7th another year. He's had some years. He's had some decent years.
He has had some, but it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. I can't do it.
It's inconsistent.
I can't do it.
It's every other year. 1 year's good, next year's bad.
I don't want to run him off though yet until I know what you got for next year, and I'm hoping they're going to be. I would consider signing Nola.
Oh, I would. It's got to be cheap, and he's not going to be cheap.
Well, what if it's a flat tire the rest of the year, Pat? Like if it's one of those. One up, one down.
Won't matter. Somebody will give him. I mean, Kyle Schwarber was good initially. Then he was bad. Leaves Chicago, the team that drafted him.
Right.
Goes to the lowly Nationals. Has a good year, as you just talked about, right? Gets traded to Boston.
Right.
And ends up turning that into the contract where he's getting $20 million. So, it was like, okay, well, hey, he's back. Like, it wasn't necessarily banking on that Kyle Schwarber. It was like, okay, we can deal with an inconsistent player. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad. The Phillies might have overpaid for him. Might have. Some team will absolutely overpay for Aaron Nola because pitching is the be-all, end-all. And some team will I mean, I want to say they'll make a mistake, but, this is an every other year player. This is the bad year. So next year, he will reward probably whoever gives him that contract. But he will probably be inconsistent. The year after that, he'll probably suck.
Yeah.
It's funny. None of us mentioned Bryce Harper. If you go 2015, Bryce Harper. How about MVP season with the Nationals? 42 home runs, 99 RBIs, 118 runs scored, led the league, 330 batting average, 460 on base percentage. 460. That's a hell of a year. All right, of all the guys we mentioned and those seasons, who do you think would be the most impactful on this team?
Probably
Trey Turner.
You think so?
Yeah,
yes.
I would say Trey.
Because he'd be
Harper's
batting leadoff.
Yeah.
If he was putting up those
that's
numbers.
The thing. I don't know if he would.
Because the manager?
I think the manager will live and die on that hill.
Wait a minute. Today at 4 o'clock, you're telling me...
Oh, today at 4 o'clock when the lineup comes out, Kyle Schwarber would be batting leadoff. I'd be blown away if he's not.
Is Trey Turner in the lineup, or does he get a night off?
No, I think he's in the lineup.
Wow. He came out last night and said he's okay. His head's still in the game. He's not, he feels like he's turning things around. All that said, yeah, I think he'll probably throw him in the lineup tonight. You know what really surprised me last night about all the, griping that we've done about, and rightfully so, about what Rob Thompson did? The fact that when that ball was hit by Rojas and the guy fumbled it, and the fact that it was Schwarber that turned right around to him and said, check that.
Check it,
he dropped it. Check it. And he didn't do it. That surprised me because it was Schwarber. And he didn't give in to him.
Like
now,
he didn't trust him.
Early in the game, okay. I don't know what the reasoning was, but how did they miss that? Like, they really didn't have a replay with that angle. That's what the story was after the game. They didn't have the proper
TV.
angle.
That's what doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, somebody somewhere had to have seen something. And don't they have somebody watching the TV that might have a better angle?
No, they do. They have somebody in the back in the coach's office that did that.
That wasn't a little thing to me. That was big.
That's incredible.
Early in the game, okay, you don't want to waste a challenge. I don't know. You're a team that the nights that you're not hitting the ball all that well, and you're going to take away a leadoff double? I don't know. That didn't sit well with me at all.
Our friend Dustin in Westchester says, what happened to the running back revolution with Saquon Barkley? And it is a good point. lot of chat last week. A lot of, there needs to be a revolution. There needs to be, and then he caved in a matter of a couple days on that stance. He gets a $2 million signing bonus, a 1-year deal worth up to $11 million. Now, that's smart for the Giants to get it done, but this is what's going to happen. When push comes to shove, all of the running backs are just going to sign. They're not going to pass on money.
Yeah.
You can't do it. And you can't do it. And another thing is, too, and I hear a lot of people saying they need to fix it, and Dan Orlovsky and I had like a 6 exchange back and forth about it. Oh, we got to fix this for running backs. All right, Dan. And I said, when the NFL Players Association negotiates their next contract, they need to worry about issues that are important, like this one, instead of worrying about we want to have less practices and more practices in shorts and T-shirts. That's what they fought for. Last time there was a agreement, they fought for raises and money, which they got, but they fought for less practice time, more vacation time, less time in the facility. That was their biggest thing that they fought for, and they got. So next time, focus on the issues that you complain about and bitch about the minute after you sign a collective bargaining agreement, which you agree to. Then say, we're not going to have this anymore. I think running backs, the one thing that would be fair is if you draft that by position. I think it would be fair if you said by position, there's different lengths of contracts that they sign as their rookie deals. A running back gets a 3-year deal on his rookie deal. That way, the running back hits free agency in year 4. Instead of, if you're a first-round running back, hitting free agency potentially in year 6. You get it in year 4. And I would think
that would certainly benefit the running backs that stay healthy.
And I would think that you then go by different positions and you give them different time frames as far as maybe where their rookie contract. And then strategically, you have to decide who you're going to draft. Because if you use a pick on them, you have to decide how long the contract is. But these teams break the wheels off of these running backs. I mean, they really do. And
it's a tough position. It's the glory position, obviously, when you're growing up and all that. But, man, it's tough. And it takes I think the average running back lasts, 3.5 years maybe in the league?
3.5 is the number.
Something crazy. We were talking about franchise tag earlier, and this is from Shefty. While Saquon Barkley did get $1 million worth of incentive added to his deal, he did not get the no franchise tag clause, meaning the Giants can tag him again after this season.
And they just might.
Yeah.
If they have a playoff year and everything, they just might. So, again, the players talk about, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. No, you don't. When the money's put in front of you, you're going to take it. And I don't blame you at all. I'll take $11 million.
Sure.
Yeah, right. I mean, is anybody with common sense would. But if the NFL Players Association wants to complain about how the system is, they collectively bargain it. They need to say, instead of having less practice time and less practices and pads, and fighting for that as your number one issue, which you did, then fight for more legitimate contracts if you think that's the deal that you got to work with. In the spirit of Christmas in July today, and this one was hard for me, what is the greatest gift win or gift break that our local fan base has ever received? Either a gift win, something that happened that you didn't deserve to win, or gift break, something that happened for you. I've always thought it with the championship year of the Eagles that the Falcons beating the Rams, upsetting them, taking out a better team, and the Vikings miracle in the Minneapolis Miracle took the Saints out of their path. I always thought that was a benefit to the Eagles. That was a little break that went their way that the Eagles and this fan base doesn't usually get. Can you think of a gift win or a gift break?
I'll give you a gift break in both the literal term also. The gift break was that Joel Embiid broke his foot in pre-draft workouts.
You're using real break.
And fell to number 3, and the Sixers were able to get him. Otherwise, you would have had Wiggins probably here.
Wiggins would have been the
Parker,
guy, right?
Yeah. That's the biggest gift break I can think of as far as
you're
a player
using
goes.
a literal,
yeah,
a literal break there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't expecting that. Pat, do you have any gift wins, gift breaks?
Yeah, thanks, jackass. You stole mine, John.
I stole yours?
The Falcons divisional. Yeah, I mean, the ball goes off Keanu Neal's knee. You end up setting up for a field goal, ultimately winning that game by 5, 3 shots to the end zone to Julio Jones. That's I think, the biggest one. If you want to go another one, it happened a couple weeks later, the Super Bowl. I mean, Tom Brady was on fire, throws for 500 yards of offense. If I show you Tom Brady's stat line from that day,
it's ridiculous.
You're probably saying, okay, well, then he's got ring number, 6, 7, whatever it was.
They had 3 players catch over 100 yards.
It was insane. I mean, the defense could not stop anyone. And
what was the break they got, though?
I would say it was the fumble.
Was that a break or a play, though, that they earned? Like, that to me was pretty earned.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It's go with fourth and 1, Nick Foles.
Wow.
Backpedaling off his back foot and converting
to Ertz.
You could go with
that was an incredible play.
You know what might be the break there, Pat, before you get to your next one, is that the Eagles ran an obvious pick and the refs didn't call it. I mean, it wasn't just a guy staying his way. They like bowled over a linebacker and Ertz got open.
Do you think they knew that no referee at that point was going to have the balls to make that call?
Oh, Gene Steratore and his crew were awesome that day, and they just let them play.
They let them play.
And it became one of the most entertaining Super Bowls of all time. Sorry, Pat, go ahead.
No, I mean, I also had the season where the Flyers went to the Stanley Cup under Lavi. They got in the last day of the season in the shootout. They're facing one of the best shootout goaltenders of all time in Henrik Lundqvist, and you have Brian Boucher. Rangers are obviously playing for a shootout in overtime, and the break was the fact that the Rangers threw out Olli Jokinen, who was already in Finland in his mind and had a horrible last attempt and was checked out at that point. Flyers end up going to the playoffs and making a run and ultimately getting the Stanley Cup.
The first round series was whom?
Oh, I'd have to go back and
because for
maybe
some
the Canadians. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, go back and check that. If only there was a machine that did that for us. That was an incredible run. That was out of nowhere, and nobody was talking about it.
Yeah.
Can you think of one with the Phillies?
Yeah.
Well, the break that I had in my head. Sorry, Pat. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the 2009 season. You had NLCS. Believe the series was 2-1.
Yes.
And Jimmy Rollins hitting the walk-off double
so awesome
against Jonathan Broxton, who at that point looked shaky, a year removed from Matt Stairs' rips one in the night. The fact that Joe Torre did not think about switching up his closer in that spot or putting anyone else in that spot or pitching around Rollins. Thank you for that, because that was cool.
My favorite walk-off of all time is that one. That one. That's my favorite walk-off game.
That's up there. And then if you want to look at a kind of a dodged a bullet situation, I think it was that season to get to the NLCS. They faced a red-hot Rockies team. Carlos Gonzalez he was hitting like 500 that series, but Brad Lidge was horrible. He was so incredibly bad that entire season, and in that series in particular, he was really, really bad. And the fact that you got out of that series because of despite the fact that Brad Lidge was so bad, and one of the reasons why was the get me to the plate boys, double by Ryan Howard that ended up winning them a crucial game in that series, where I think they had to get like 3 or 4 guys on base in order to get him to the plate, and then he delivers. The break in that is that you had good at bats to get to that point, but you were facing Houston Street, who was a great closer at the time, and it's baseball. It's a game of failure, and you ended up having everything break correctly, getting on base, getting Ryan Howard to the plate, and then ultimately getting the double.
I think the Red Sox
that's
losing
the one I was
Game 7 against Tampa Bay.
I was watching that
getting to face Tampa and not facing the Red Sox. I think might be one, because the Red Sox at that point had one. They had one World Series at that time, or had 2. I think they had 2.
They had
won 2003,
2004,
2007. So I think that was a big break facing Tampa Bay.
I remember I was at a going away party for somebody who just left a job at a certain establishment in South Philadelphia, and there may have been a former 76er current analyst who was intently watching that Boston Devil Rays game because he may have had a wager or two on it.
It really comes down.
So bigger guy.
Correct. 2004, 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. That was
So they would have been they would have already won 2 World Series.
Going back to back.
And they would have been like, I think that changed things for the Phillies. I think that made it. I think both times for the Phillies, the Royals beat the Yankees in 80.
Mm-hmm.
And the Phillies benefit from that. I think you'd rather play the Royals than play the Yankees.
Yeah.
And the Devil Dogs, beating the Red Sox, who had already won 2 World Series. I think that would have been an incredibly hard series to win.
I'll give you one in the realm of what Bob was talking about with a literal break. Cole Hamels dropped in the draft because he was injured.
I didn't know that.
Somebody.
Yeah. No.
Oh, it was the punch.
No,
Well,
Bob, please. Let's get our memories, our ducks in a row. He punched someone when he was in Clearwater and he broke his hand. Okay, you did not know. You did not, sir. No, he had arm injury at the time when the draft happened, and there were question marks surrounding him, so he dropped in the draft. And Lucas Giolito actually had a very similar path where there was just questions regarding his health, but he stayed healthy. And I don't know if you're aware, but he had a pretty damn good career. So if he doesn't end up being injured and the Phillies end up taking a risk, then I don't know who their staff ace is in 2008.
Well, let's hope that same injury situation pays off with the Philadelphia Eagles linebacking core.
Well, their ace is obvious in 2008, Jamie Moyer. God, do you even know baseball?
He did have the most wins.
Though, right?
16-7.
I mean, he had the wins.
No,
I'm shocked that
starter.
Like tonight, Taijuan Walker goes for win number 12 tonight, I believe. Like I just don't look at wins as
you can't.
It's not a pitching stat.
No, you give up 7 runs, but if your offense scores 8 when you're in the game, you end up winning.
Yeah,
and Cole Hamels is a good example of that because every season it seemed like he was having a really good year, but he got no run support.
It was like almost like they breathed. They took a deep breath when Hamels was in, and we're like, we got this one today. Hamels is going to come through. He's going to take care of business.
Absolutely, yeah. It was like, all right, we're okay.
Today's good. Today we're good. We need to score runs when it's the Blanton game or something else like that. Where's Joe Blanton now, by the way?
He's a sommelier.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, we need to have him on the show, and we need to go out with him. No, we're not kidding you at all.
He's a sommelier?
I was the biggest Joe Blanton fan.
So many people I know love him.
Oh, no. Not at the time.
No. I got you.
His first start in Philly, I defended that trade so much. I was out of town when they traded for Joe Blanton.
Okay.
And I couldn't believe they got him for...
Where were you?
I was in Ithaca, New York.
Oh, nice.
Baseball hotbed.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe they got him for Cardenas and Outman because Cardenas was blocked by Utley. And Outman, they switched to a reliever because they didn't think he could be a starter. So I was like, wow, they stole Joe Blanton. But because we didn't, we don't see past our nose in this city, nobody knew who the hell Joe Blanton was.
I did not, and I raised my hand. I was one of those people
His memory of trades is unbelievable.
They threw Matt Spencer in that deal too, but he didn't amount to much. But everybody wanted CC Sabathia, and everyone was like, oh, you're getting this starter from the A's. The A's suck. And I defended it so much that his first start in Philly, I promptly went to the team store. I had them make a Joe Blanton jersey. I still have it. It's basically pink at this point because I wore it so much. But I was the biggest Joe Blanton guy.
Okay, I want Joe Blanton on the show.
I mean, I'll try. I'll
track him down.
Yeah, I'll try to track him down.
No, track him down. Seriously, I mean, because he's a guy. Whenever his name comes up, he's got to know he's beloved here.
I feel like it's a lot of revisionist history because when that trade went down, but he ends up.
I get it. The trade, I get.
No, but 2008, like they end up getting him, and he goes undefeated for the rest of the season in a Phillies uniform, and obviously the home run against Edwin Jackson
in the rain on a Saturday night.
That was
if
awesome.
I'm not mistaken. The game that started like way late. They pushed
that was game 3. No, that was game 3. Moyer started that game.
So it was Moyer started the game that started way late?
I don't know how many people dealt with it, but there's a local cable company where the cable went out.
Oh, no.
During the back-to-back home runs of Utley and Howard. And I had to follow along on Yahoo.com.
That's not good.
On their live tracker.
And did you dance around your living room?
I was more pissed off that I was missing.
Yeah,
I was missing the game because the cable went out.
Well, we got a lot coming your way. Still on the show. The Pat has something about the fans and more importantly about Rob Thompson and why they're different coming up. John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Hey, it's Christmas in July with us today.
In Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Official home of the Sixers, Flyers, Union, and the best Eagles talk in Philadelphia. 97.5 The Fanatic. Now, back to the John Kincade Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Doesn't hearing the Christmas music, hearing Christmas in July on the John Kincade Show, doesn't it make you feel of happier times?
No, I love the summer.
I know,
and it's a tie-in because this is our fan fest. This is our main act. This is Kenny G.
This is Kenny G. Well, Pat, you're not supposed to announce the main act yet.
Yeah.
Oops. What are you going to do now,
Kenny
bosses?
G, people going to go nuts.
Program director's on vacation. Kenny G, let's go.
At Staples, school savings are always in session. From art supplies and essentials to the latest tech, in stock and price low. School on, save on at your local Staples store. Pat, does your bride have a wish list for her classroom?
I don't know.
If she does, I'd love to. Last year did something for Jamie's wife's classroom too. Love to do that. If it's these teachers having to come out of their own pocket pisses me off.
I'm sure she
pisses
does.
Me off,
she's a Philadelphia district school teacher. So.
No, but that really pisses me off.
It's annoying.
And I think it's Abbott Elementary that seeing it portrayed on Abbott Elementary, and then those actors and actresses say, "Oh no, we talk to real teachers, and this is what they deal with."
Very accurate. Yeah.
See, your wife finds it very accurate.
Oh, painfully accurate.
Well, they claim that they're very accurate with the portrayal.
Yeah, there's not a lot left for the imagination there. It's pretty spot on.
Well,
like regarding the kids, the teachers, but at the end of the day, you do it because you love it.
That's why I always say they're special. They're special people.
Born to do what they do. I am convinced of that, and I've said it for a long time.
Like I can't because there is a selflessness to teaching, especially children, that the patience that's involved.
And Pat's wife being in special needs, my daughter getting into majoring in special needs, like those people, and having had a child going through that all for however many years, they are special people.
I mean, they really it's and they're getting ready to get back to it and everything like that. But wow, that is it's just the amount of when I see that and they displayed it on the show, I'm like, okay, it can't be that bad. It's a comedy.
It's
and they were like, no, it's real. No, they said it was real.
Yeah, no air conditioning and have to buy your own supplies. And I mean, you get a little bit of a stipend, but it's not enough to cover everything. And even when I was a kid, I fortunate to go to Catholic school, but
right.
Those teachers get paid less. And it was like one of the first things you would do, new school year started, was you would get a list of things and you would come home and give it to your mom and dad. And it was things needed for the classroom.
That they need for the classroom.
And it was like tissues, crayons, markers. Right. But it was to kind of help. I mean, you grow up and realize it was to help out the teachers because they were paying out of their own pocket because the archdiocese weren't paying for the simple things that you kind of take for granted.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible to just, hey, 97.5 The Fanatic says, bring your own mic.
Don't give him any ideas, man.
I'm not trying to give ideas. I can't imagine it. And for you teachers out there, please enjoy your last weeks of summer and really enjoy it because I admire the hell out of you. I really do. Because, we talk about first responders all the time. We talk about the nurses and the doctors. I'm dealing with that right now. My doctors and nurses are freaking spectacular. They're absolutely awesome. Love them all. But the school teachers sometimes get a little forgotten. And I know my daughter had so many great ones. We would go to those parent nights and I'd say, I would love to have taken this teacher's course. Like you go, okay, that's a really interesting approach this teacher's taking or something like that.
So our buddy Todd DeFeo, who does a great job in our promotion department, texted me and said, on our contest page, 97.5thefanatic.com/contest page, the best show ever, led by General Tyrone Johnson, heading up teachers' wish lists. So
that's awesome. I didn't even
submit, and if you want to, help out a teacher in need, you can head to our contest page and click on that, and boom, you'll
That's
find the teacher's
fantastic.
wish list.
Great job.
That is cool.
Great job by the best show. I'm sorry I overlooked that. I did not know.
There was I had a former high school teacher, Miss Smith. Now
sounds like a fake name.
Now she got married. Now she's Miss Tate. Okay. But she had a wish list, and I think I shared it on Twitter or something. And one of our listeners, Vince Pellegrini, bought the whole damn thing.
Yo, Vince.
And I mean, she was so incredibly appreciative that somebody she didn't know ended up helping her out in that situation.
But you know what, though? You didn't really read the fine print. Vince said, though, that she had to facilitate the trade of Joel Embiid.
And she's working
She hasn't finished that deal.
She's working on it.
Vince.
And that's why
typing a letter to Daryl Morey now.
That's why she...
the whole classroom is going to write letters.
Dear Mr. Morey.
He told her, you only get half the chalk now and then half the chalk when the trade is done.
There you go.
Vince is a good man.
Vince is very good. Very charitable guy. Hey, in Pat's point of view, Pat sees a difference between what the fans are allowed to do and what Rob Thompson's allowed to do.
This is Pat's point of view. Here's Pat.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Pat.
Hi, Pat.
So last night, I think, is a really good example of this. I am a fan. You guys are fans.
Yes.
Bob's a journalist.
Bob's a journalist. He's
weird.
dispassionate when he watches.
Yeah, he doesn't care. But I'm allowed to sit there, watch last night's game, and go, okay, it'll be all right. They'll figure it out. They're way too talented. Extra wild card spot. They'll get in. I'm allowed to do that because I don't have a say in it. Rob Thompson does. Rob Thompson has a say in this. So Rob Thompson's not allowed to sit there and go, yeah, we'll be okay. We're fine. We'll be fine. Nothing to see here. Dog in the burning building. This is fine. And what I saw yesterday from his lineup was it doesn't matter. We'll be okay. I mean, you throw out a 1-2 combo of Schwarber and Turner, hitting a combined 216 with an on-base percentage of 306. That's your 1-2 hitter, okay? Then, on top of it, if you thought that was bad, then you throw Harrison at third, Jake Cave, who's fresh off of Lehigh Valley at first base, and then you've got Drew Stubbs, which I get Drew Stubbs a catcher, okay? I mean, fifth starter, understand that completely. And then Johan Rojas at center. So you've got, you're 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 and 2 hole hitter that either are playing horribly or are backups. So that leaves you with Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, and Bryson Stott to actually do some damage. No friggin' wonder why they had 2 runs. No wonder why Bryce Harper is blowing through possible stop signs or whatever, trying to score Dusty Watson sent him. No wonder. Because after Bryce Harper, if he's standing on third base, would you have faith that Josh Harrison's going to hit you in? Would you have faith that Drew Stubbs going to hit you in, that Johan Rojas? I wouldn't. I mean, this lineup that he threw out there yesterday was embarrassing. It was putrid. It mirrored that of the 2016 Phillies, which were the worst team in baseball. What the hell are they doing? I should say, what is he doing? Rob Thompson's gotten way too comfortable, not only with his lineup in terms of the 1 and 2 hole hitter, but in terms of what we saw yesterday, and you equated it to what Fergosi used to do on Sundays with the give up lineup.
Always did.
Yesterday's lineup was a give up lineup. You're gonna give up. You're gonna give all these guys off, all of them, not one, not two, all of them. But the 2 guys that you will not give a night off to. No. Over my dead body from my cold dead hands, will you write in another name other than Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner at the start of the lineup? I just feel like this guy has the power to do something and change it up. And instead, he has gotten too comfortable because of what happened last year. Because it worked out last year, so he's not changing. And one of the things I think that really is a tip of the cap to Nick Sirianni was he changed it up. First year, he's passing. It ain't working 7 weeks in.
7
so what are we
weeks
gonna do? We're going to run the football and change it up. And you know what? They ended up going to the playoffs, so it works. But
he took a title away from himself.
Yeah.
He was no longer play caller.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's big.
Yeah.
But the ego, and it's to the detriment of a lot of people in sports, I'd say most people in sports is their downfall, I think is showing with Rob Thompson in this situation. The I can't quit you mentality of Schwarber and Turner 1-2 and not even trying to flip-flop them is frustrating. But on top of it, to have 6, 7, 8, 9 of what they had last night was embarrassing. And I feel bad for fans that paid for it. And I'm not surprised that you only had 2 runs. And Connor brought it up. You're facing a pitcher that has an ERA of 6.
It's incredible.
So now you got to face Kyle Gibson tonight.
I think that's why he did it, though. I think that's why he did it last night. He thought, we could take advantage of that.
He thought he could get away with it. I can get all these guys in and we can hit and we'll be fine. Okay. But now you've got to beat Kyle Gibson and beat Kyle Bradish, who probably has been their best pitcher this season.
Gibson's not as
no.
You had the advantage tonight, though, right?
Bradish has been their best pitcher this entire year.
Bradish has
really
been
good.
Fantastic.
Gibson has been solid.
Yes.
But would it surprise anyone if Gibson goes out there and throws 7 1/3 1-run ball? I mean, this offense is horrible. So this offense has been bad for a while. The only time they woke up was when they went to extra innings. And what does he do? He puts a bunch of backups in. That's embarrassing.
It was terrible. So I love that you did this, though. You did this preemptively yesterday. You did not wait for it to blow up. You said you didn't like it from when you saw the lineup.
This lineup was gross.
God, it's terrible.
But there's a lot to hate about it. Then I just did it. Yeah, I just hate it all.
There is somebody who hates that lineup as much as you do. My cousin Ryan is on the line. Ryan, the fireman. Ryan, you were bitching yesterday like Egan before the game started, even about the lineup.
Absolutely. You know what, John? I woke up today and I chose violence. You know what grinds my gears is Rob Thompson making that lineup. You know what even grinds my gears even more is Trey Turner almost had sunglasses on where he couldn't see anything yesterday when he threw 2 balls. It's ridiculous. Like, we're paying this guy so much, he can't do anything at the plate, and now he can't do anything in the field. Then let's get back to Rob Thompson. Rob Thompson had the chance to put Brandon Marsh in to run for Kyle Schwarber. And you know what? The run didn't turn out anything different. But if he put Brandon Marsh in as a defensive replacement, that ball's caught, the Phillies win the game. Rob Thompson needs to get his head out of somewhere else so that we can actually watch good baseball come this October.
Yeah, I feel it. Go fight a fire, baby. Go fight a fire. I do not I'm very confident we're going to see October baseball. And I don't know why. I feel almost like I'm being dumb saying it. But I look at the teams that are there and going, he can't blow this. Thompson can't blow this. I mean, not with the talent he has on the roster, not with the payroll he has. He cannot finish behind some of these sad sack teams that he currently is behind this morning.
Yeah, you wouldn't think so. And, one thing we haven't talked an awful lot about, if we're going to be, and air quotes, bashing on Rob Thompson today.
Is it bashing?
And I started it. So, yeah, I think we're bashing him today. He had a horrible game last night.
Terrible.
So I'm bashing him. What happened to the promise that you made to your team, to the fans and all that stuff, that when you got one of the best shortstops in baseball during the offseason and you said he's going to be your leadoff hitter?
No, he's forgotten that.
Why did you abandon that?
Because he has amnesia.
I
mean, he doesn't remember. He didn't give it. He didn't give it a legit shot.
12 games, was it, Pat? I think. Did you write this?
I'm double checking, but I believe it was 11 games.
Okay. He panicked.
Well, if he panicked then, why aren't you panicking now?
Well, I mean, because I do think it's last year was a Cinderella ride.
He talks
about now there's pressure.
I'm not going to change things. We're not going to panic. Well, then what was it that you did with Trey Turner, who was considered one of the best leadoff hitters in all of baseball, who led the league in hits the last 2 years, and you gave him 11 games?
So he had 14 games.
Oh, I'm sorry, 14.
14 games, 63 plate appearances.
Okay, how did he do?
Hit 250.
Okay,
that's not great.
Well, it's better than Schwarber.
But if you look at Schwarber,
60 points better than your current. Now I'm in a battle with Rock, one of my buddies. Rock, 2-time All-State baseball player who coached high school baseball, says I'm totally wrong about Schwarber.
It's not wrong.
He's got his reason for it. He says he makes the pitcher work, and that's you have a real threat up there, to lead off the game, and that puts pressure on the pitcher. Okay, I hear you, but has it worked? Like, is this an outstanding offensive team?
Right. Let's play the other side of that argument for a second, okay? Because I hear this a lot, and I've heard it from the broadcast that try to defend Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff spot because they don't want to bash too much. Kyle Schwarber's hitting $185. Do we really think that the pitcher is at all concerned about Kyle Schwarber?
He's worried about giving up he's worried about giving up the gopher ball, so he just does the stuff that makes Kyle Schwarber chase.
Even if he gives up the home run, he's leading off the inning. It's 1 run.
You're right.
I'm not worried about 1 run. I'm worried about the 3-run home run. The time where I'm pitching around Kyle Schwarber is when there's men on base, which probably would happen if he was hitting 3rd or 4th, but he doesn't. So this idea that all of a sudden, the pitcher is shaking in his cleats because Kyle Schwarber's coming up. Oh my God, $185 Kyle Schwarber. Have you ever looked at a guy's stats and seen $185 and been terrified of that guy? No.
Never. No.
I mean, this is like Mark Reynolds incarnate.
I think he's worried about making a mistake, the pitcher.
Okay, but if he
working about giving him something that.
But if I'm the pitcher and I make that mistake, if I make that 18% mistake or whatever it is, I'm looking at it like, okay, I'm down by 1.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not down by 3 or 4. I'm down by 1.
Wait a minute. That's only the first time you face him. You could be down by 3 or 4 if you make a mistake when there's men on base.
Well, maybe
at the beginning of the game.
Maybe, but when you have a men on base, I mean, the men on base would have to be Josh Harrison, Jake Cave.
I know.
Roja, you know what I mean?
It was so stupid last night.
And to give you an idea, he's had to Turner's 64 plate appearances. Kyle Schwarber has 227 plate appearances, batting first.
Wow.
He's hitting a robust $192. For all the people that say that his numbers are better than leadoff spot this season, $192, 286 on base percentage. I would be concerned if your leadoff hitter was hitting 286. His on base percentage is 286. He's hitting better out of the 3rd hole.
And last night was a great argument, whatever. You have guys on base, he gets you a sacrifice fly. Schwarber does. You have somebody on base in the 8th inning, and the announcers even said, with Rojas on base with a threat to steal, man, the concentration goes towards first base. All it takes is a little... And what happens? They walk Schwarber. Why? Because there's a speedy guy on first base that the pitcher's concentrating on a little bit more than he should be.
Yeah.
Why take that away? Why not have that try to play out more often than not? I just don't get it. I don't.
9 o'clock hour is brought to you by the Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. Get yours. Go to bagster.com and get your Bagster and take care of any business that you've got to get done. All right, Santa Claus is back. It's the last night before training camp. You got a report tomorrow in the AM. What are the things you must do on the night before what is possibly a 7.5-month grind begins? The players are at home. It's far different than the camp days, so at least they get to go home. I wonder if they even do anything special about it. It's 1 day a week completely off, except for bye weeks from this point on. So what are you thinking? What are they doing the night before? And nothing naughty. Yeah, well, hopefully they could be doing something naughty. That'd be fun. But it's the night before. You know that you are now going to be on a grind. And it's a grind for 7+ months if you're an Eagle and you think you're going to the Super Bowl and you're going to win it. So you get 1 day a week off from this point on. What are you doing tonight? Anything special?
I mean, you want to spend a nice night with the family, have a nice dinner, something really good. A relaxing night, obviously, so it's an early dinner. I just think rest, go over everything that you're going to do tomorrow, while you're relaxing, and then, try to get a good night's sleep. I mean, the anxiety level, I can't even imagine. I remember talking to NBA guys the night before training camp, and they said, oh, God, I couldn't sleep a little bit.
Is it because of the grind or the excitement?
Mostly it was excitement, or at least what they parlayed was the excitement. A couple of days later, you would get the complaining because of the soreness. And, we just think athletes go out there and play all the time. I used to think it was hysterical watching the guys come in for like the 3rd day of practice, and they're doing 2-a-days, and they're like limping and all that because they're sore. They don't.
Sure they are.
Yeah, so... I think just taking it easy is the cool thing to do. Maybe back in the day it was, my last night of freedom. No, I don't think it's that anymore.
We had NFL player in the neighborhood that would turn their hot tub into an ice tub. So when he would come home from practice, and it's hot in the summertime in Georgia, he would put ice every day into the tub and make it, and it would melt over the course, but it would be just cool enough that when he came in, he'd get right in the tub and just get in the cold because he felt so stiff and so beat up. And
you ever take an ice bath?
I have not. I've done the ice plunge, the plunge pools they call them.
Mm-hmm.
I did not find it very pleasant. but I was able to do it. But I wanted out as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I didn't find I guess the benefit or understanding the benefits of it as much, and I'm sure it's great for you. So
It must be. Somebody said it was, and players do it, so it must be pretty good
but
for
he
you.
would put ice in like every single day. So, Pat, are you you have anything you do? Well, I know what you do the night before. It'd be an ice cream social. I mean, if it was you.
Yeah. I mean, I'd obviously enjoy a little bit of the cream. Absolutely.
You'd be loading up.
Yeah, I'd probably also do a little
2 chicks at the same time, man.
Yeah,
but that was after.
but wait a minute, you got to be ready for the first practice.
You get ice cream. You go to the movies.
Then
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a
wrong
clown.
drop. Wrong drop.
Yes.
At the same time.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So it's in that order. What movie we're seeing, I don't know. I assume Barbie would probably turn them on a little bit more than Oppenheimer. You know, I don't see atomic bombs really turning people on, getting the juices flowing. No one's getting horned up to go see that movie, but
That's different,
you never know. Maybe
never
I find
know.
some gothic chick who's really into it. So that's what I would do. I honestly, I probably would go to the movies, watch Netflix. I wouldn't do anything.
Did you say
major.
gothic chick?
Yeah.
Isn't it goth?
Well, goth is short for
Goth.
gothic.
I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're very formal about it.
Yeah.
You like to
I'm a
address
formal guy. I'm a gentleman.
Hey, Joe in Conshohocken wants to vent on Christmas in July. You want to vent about the Phillies, Joe?
Yes, absolutely. I got some venting to do here. First off, Schwarber in the leadoff. I mean, I feel like we're kind of living in the past. I mean, yeah, he was good in the World Series and we went on that run. But I mean, this guy, he hits the home runs, but he'll get on second base and there'll be a single to right field, and we can't send him. He's in the field last night. I know that catch, it is questionable, but I mean, that you should make that catch.
No, he should make that catch. Everybody makes that catch.
I mean, he got tripped up, John. He got tripped up.
Ugh.
It's like you can't have that. I mean, this guy, he makes some plays and then other, routine ones, and it's just, I just don't understand what we're doing.
I don't understand it either, but I think that Rob Thompson benefits from the hangover of last year. That everybody's just like, it's great. I'm not saying
who?
I
Who
think
everybody says, like,
I think he's getting a lot of leeway. I don't think there's a lot of. I think right now, I'm hearing people today. What I felt like for a month, I feel like now everybody's joining the party. I've been saying this since May.
Well, I mean, you can say out of 30 managers in the league that they're not good enough and they don't win a World Series, and you're going to be right. I mean, I hear you
but
on
that's
that.
not what I'm saying. Is he doesn't have to win a World Series to have a great year, and I'm not going to bash him if he doesn't win a World Series. I'm talking about. I think it's been flat out indifference, lack of energy, lack of there's no urgency with this team, and now fans are seeing it. They're going, "What's with that lineup last night? Don't they care?" I've been crying about this for 2 months. That they just don't. That Rob Thompson doesn't have a energy about him that says we're pushing, we're battling.
Well, I don't. Yeah, pushing. I think in the middle of May, June. That's tough in 162 games. So letting it play out and how it was playing out and all, I understood it then. You went on a string where you won, like we said, 25 of 36 games, and whatever you were doing. Okay, that's when it started to come around. But then you face an Orioles team that's one of the best teams in baseball. Push is coming to shove now that you're getting to the end of July. So now, is the time that you have to have that feeling that you say you had like a month or so ago.
But they don't.
It doesn't appear so. And that's why the fans are, okay, now's the time where you start to okay, let's go. And he throws out a lineup with 3 backup players in it last night.
There just is there is a lack of energy quality to this team. And it's huge. It's huge. And they turned it on last year with a light switch. And it took a 9th inning in St. Louis to just light that fire, and then they went on fire. We'll see what happens if they can hit that switch again. All right, coming up, Bob has a gift question for us on this Christmas in July for every Philly sports fan out there in the audience. Hope you celebrate with us. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. John Kincade Show here on 97.5 The Fanatic. You know what's back? Center City Sips is back at Pagan.
Fanatic, Philadelphia.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Hope you did your shopping.
Everywhere you go.
Bob, 5 months.
Please tell me you have not bought a Christmas present yet.
I have not.
Oh, thank you.
I've been a little busy.
Faith restored.
What do you say?
I would have bet you absolutely did.
No.
Most years.
I have absolutely bought a present by now. Probably multiple presents because the girls both have their birthdays in the second half of the year. Christmas is second, so I absolutely would have had a gift bought by now. I'm very concerned about that, by the way, because as it goes on, they tell me, as the treatments go on, tomorrow we have treatment 4, which after I get done on Friday, it'll be 1/3 of the way through the 5FU race. I'm worried about this. This is going to lapse into November. And they say the fatigue and all that kind of stuff is going to get worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, I have to make sure that I've got the holidays covered.
Well, you got to do that thing that, you guys keep telling me I have to try sometime.
What's
That's
that?
order online.
I do like ordering online some things, but...
No problem. See, you can lay around and order online, this, that, bing, bang, boom.
I sort of like to find, odd things, though, that are more personal, but I guess you can find them online,
You can
too.
find anything online.
Hey, take it with you all summer long on the beach, the boardwalk, the boat, or the lake. It's the Bet Park Sportsbook app. Bet on sports, play your favorite casino games for real money. You got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Ohio. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So the folks at Turtle Creek are ready for the big Fanatic charity golf tournament. Citadel Credit Union, our presenting sponsor, coming up on Monday, which benefits the AACR, the American Association for Cancer Research. And I'm going to ask the Adam Joseph to keep an eye on this weather for us. It looks
good
great,
so
though.
far.
No, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
How about 82 and sunny, Pat? 82 and sunny.
That's ideal right there.
That is perfect. Perfect.
Nice night to go to the ballpark.
Be very, very well. No, I'm talking about for our golf tournament. Did we
It's a
catch
nice night
you?
to go to the ballpark. I said what I said. I stand by it.
Are you going to be going to the ballpark that night?
You could find a ballpark to go to.
You could.
I don't know where they are that day.
But you're going to be on a golf course. Well, let me see. I can tell you right now. I mean,
the way I play golf, I'll be done by.
They will be They will be off on Monday.
Oh well, then you can still go.
Then they open up. Then they open up a 3-game series at the Pirates.
Well, you can go to. Okay, fine. Go to Redding's ballpark.
By the way, if you have never, again, I'll say it again. If you have never gone to Pittsburgh, to PNC Park, it is fantastic. It's one of the best. The ride's not bad to get up there, get a hotel room, see a couple nights, have a good time. I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah,
It's a really
I really, if they're out there next year, I have a niece that lives out there. Rock has a son that lives out there in Pittsburgh.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I really want to try to. I don't know who I could work it out with in my family, but try to take one of the kids or something to go out there and see a game or two.
I invited our buddy Vince Rizzuto from Philly Sports Trips to golf at the golf outing.
Really?
And he said
he'll be in Pittsburgh.
Throw him in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So if you're planning on going one of these years, Bobby, if you're planning on doing a trip, I think you know which guy to hit up.
Well, I'm going to strong arm
Vince from Philly Sports Trips.
I'm going to strong arm the fine folks at Turtle Creek because I want to have this event shifted to June, to before everybody starts getting into heavy vacation season, and I'm targeting the Monday after Father's Day. So I just wrote the date on a piece of paper and gave it to our own Josie. So he puts it up in his cubicle. That's the date. So we can tag that up. It's going to be so much fun on Monday. Hopefully you'll be out there with us. Bob, are you surprised at all that I have the schedule grid of all the wild card contenders with every game played every night? Does that surprise you at all?
No, you're one of the weirdest people I've ever met in my life.
Pat, would you like a copy of the?
I'm really okay.
You okay? You sure?
Thank you so much.
It's been so nice to have Stat Monarch around here because Stat loves the same craziness of level of detail that I've really enjoyed seeing that with Stat. Just crazy stuff. So, in Cooney's Corner, Bob wants to know about gifts.
Now, let's see what's in Cooney's Corner.
I think I may know the answer, John's answer to this kind of question, but I want you guys to think a little deeper about it too. What's your favorite gift that the Philly sports world has brought you? And what's the one that you thought was going to be really cool, but turned out not to be?
Wow.
So I'll go back to my youth.
Okay.
When I was, just unbelievably into basketball mostly and all that. And I'll never forget where I was getting out of a car, my cousin's car, just getting out, and they had on KYW, and it was breaking news that the 76ers had acquired center Moses Malone. Now, to me, it was, oh my God, I can't believe it. They're going to win a championship, because we're talking years of frustration. They went to the championship in 77. They were knocking on the door every year up until then, 1983. And getting Moses Malone, in my mind, that August day was, all right, this is it. It's over. And sure enough, it was. They went on to win the championship. I was huge into basketball then. It was like my life outside.
It was your obsession. That was the big one.
Exactly. So that was the first biggest gift I ever got in sports. How about you? I think I know what you're going to say.
Really?
I do.
I do not think you know. I'd say my biggest one was the fact that as a young man, as a college student, and then right out of college, that I got to work for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Oh.
That I got to work for my childhood favorite team, and the Flyers were absolutely, hockey was my favorite. It was the number one, and the fact that I got to work for the Flyers was the absolute biggest gift that I ever got from Philly sports. But I would also say, too, that May 11th, 1988, not that I hold a grudge, when Bobby Clark unmercifully sent us out the door, I absolutely will always remember that day, too. And I may or may not have a voodoo doll.
Yeah, we've heard. Pat, what about you?
No hard feelings, though.
Mine is, sounds a little cheesy, but mine's Jack. Because without the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, I don't know if I have a kid, because we made the bet of we'll have a kid when the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and
I love that.
Showed up 9 months later. So
I think your wife would have given in at some point.
No. I ended up losing my virginity and conceiving a child the same night.
It's the whole slippery thing.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not into the slippery either.
I don't believe you for a heartbeat.
What? That's my favorite?
I think that's the most.
I think it's beautiful that's your favorite.
Beautiful also.
I don't think you lost your virginity because the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
No, he did. He did. He really did. I heard Pat.
No, he did. He did.
No,
he really did.
I heard Pat tell a story
Count socks,
on the air that the night the Phillies won the World Series, that you and your friends were out, and you were hoping that maybe something like that would happen, and it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
So I mean,
whatever. And then the thing that I thought was when they signed Cliff Lee. When they re-signed Cliff Lee and you team him with Hamels and Halliday, I was like, this is it. They're going to become a dynasty and run through it. And if you want to add on to it, then when they traded for Roy Oswalt and it became, the four aces, I thought that was unbeatable.
I never understood the rationale. I never understood it. They had just watched the Atlanta Braves use the exact same formula and every year dominate with the wins and crap out in the playoffs. And they decided that was the good way to go. Build a starting rotation of just the aces.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, their lineup was really good too.
No, I agree with you.
I mean,
but there were holes. There were bullpen holes, and they're absolute. I mean, and that to me, it began. It wasn't as much of a mix and match era. Is that fair? For managers, today, the managers really are constantly using. They didn't use the bullpen the same exact way, but I didn't understand the rationale. I always thought it was a flawed formula.
I loved it. Anytime you can get the best of anybody at anything, add more to it, I was good with it. I was shocked it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. It was a surprising thing.
I think they just ran in a hot team.
And what was that?
Well, I mean, the Giants ended up winning the World Series, and then they lost to the Cardinals, and they ended up winning the World Series. When you look at their lineup, okay, so you had Chooch, Howard, Utley, Rollins, Placido Polanco, who hit almost 300 that year.
Yes.
Raul Ibanez, who was pretty good. Shane Victorino and Jason Worth.
It's a hell of a
lineup. That lineup's really good. And
how did they lose those games?
I'd have to go back and look.
I mean, honestly,
I know
but
against
I'd
Jonathan
love
Sanchez didn't score runs.
I would love a Pat Egan analysis of that someday.
Oh, that's
like
gross.
just some because I do believe that they could have that a few extra bullpen.
Well, I mean, all right. So I'm looking at their bullpen now. Brad Lidge, 2.96 ERA.
Yeah, but
Chad
2009 he wasn't.
I'm looking at 2010.
I got you.
Because 2010 is when they had the Cliff Lee and Roy Oswalt in them. Chad Durbin, 3.80. Jose Contreras, 3.34. Ryan Madsen, 2.55. JC Romero, 3. Like they had a good bullpen. They just
had a
ran
good
into a hot team.
They ran. So you just think it was a magical collision?
Yeah, I mean, and look, the teams they lost to won the World Series. They ended up going on that stretch, that run. So if they didn't, if they ended up puttering out,
then you'd say it wasn't.
Yeah, but I mean, when a team ends up, beating you and going on the World Series run, it's like, all right, well, we lost the best.
You're tipping your cap,
quote unquote. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Young Haley's in with us, and if you're watching YouTube, Haley, make sure you have a great experience every day. Merry Christmas to you, Haley.
Merry Christmas to you.
July. You don't look like you're really enjoying the Phillies right now either.
No, it was an awful performance last night, and I have to blame Topper, but
yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it's not good.
You're going golfing on Sunday for the first time.
Yeah, I'm going
18 holes on a real course.
Yeah, Thursday night actually.
Oh, it's Thursday night. So you only have a couple nights for this.
Yes.
You're a little anxious about it.
I am. Yeah. Well, it's my first time going golfing on a real course, and I'll be with my dad. But I don't want to do anything that's going to kind of distract the other players on the course or mess up the speed of the game.
So you're trying to figure out some tips that would, put you in a better position there.
Yeah, so people don't hate me.
How about playing fast? Bob, should that be the number one?
Number one, absolutely. Hit the ball, go get the ball, and hit it again. Don't keep doing that until you put it in the hole.
Don't do the practice 15 times and then hit the ball. You're not going to be good, so don't delay the inevitable.
You picked a good time, though. You picked a dinner time, tea time.
Yep, on purpose.
So that way it won't be as hot, and there won't be as many people on the course probably when you're teeing off.
I was like, if I do it in the morning, there might be a lot of people there.
Oh, it would be. You drive me crazy.
Yeah, and I couldn't do that to the good folks at Ramblewood. So.
No, they wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, another thing is it's not funny. That's what the foursome behind you is going to keep saying. If like you swing and miss, and then you start laughing and you go away from the ball. No. Just hit the ball, go get it, and hit it again.
I had 1 year of practice for this moment. So I got these passes from Jaws last year.
Okay.
And it expires at the end of July. So all year I've been practicing. I've been watching tapes. I've been just kind of getting into the mindset of I'm going to do this.
So you're going to do it with your dad, which is great to be out there with your father.
Yep.
Which is
don't
great.
get frustrated. It's okay. It's all right. Just go out and have fun.
But
go out with the right attitude. But you can't be competitive when you suck at something. And believe me, I never can. Like I always say, I'm not good enough to throw a club. And I always laugh at people throwing clubs in a golf course. I'm not good enough to throw a club because my game's not good enough.
No, it'll be a fun activity with my dad.
Don't let temper come into it at all and everything like that. Now, does she buy dad beer at the turn?
Swing oil, I'm never going to refuse on a golf course. There's no doubt about that.
There's a cooler on your cart.
Yep.
I'd suggest loading it up a little bit. If if dad would have a beer on the course,
we'll have a beer together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you want to get a few beers, put them in your cooler before you go, and they'll give you some ice, and they'll fill the cooler, and you can have put 4 beers in, and you can have that with your dad. That's a great moment.
And Dad, if you're listening, you can buy me drinks too.
Well, no. I thought this was your gift to your father.
I mean, yeah, but I got...
Oh, no.
Yeah, you got to stop looking to be spoiled. That's already taken care of. You got to step out and do the good things.
Yeah, Dad's taking care of you enough. That's like, this is his thing. You're taking him golfing.
Yeah.
It's a gift, right? It was Father's Day thing?
Yep.
Okay.
From last year.
Well, then that means from last year.
Yep. I got it a year ago, and he said, I will not golf with you until you practice.
Okay. Well, I don't blame him for that because you want to. Okay. Yeah. So now but you take care of the beers. This is your responsibility.
I can do that.
It's his gift.
The least I can do for a good.
All right. Any other points for Haley? Share them on the YouTube chat. Give her good job, Hale.
Thank you.
Let's hope that things work out well there. Do you remember your first? What was your first?
I beg your pardon.
Your first 18 holes that you played.
Yeah, I do. I played.
Where'd you play?
Pennsauken Country Club. I was 16 years old, and it was me and my friend Glenn.
And do you remember?
I remember what I wore.
What?
Well, I remember him coming over, and his dad was a golfer. His dad passed away when we were young, but his dad was very into golfing and kind of taught him the rules and regulations of golf. I didn't know anything except go hit ball, like I just told Haley, and keep hitting it until you put it in the hole. But he came over, and he's like, "Nah, dude, you better put on some like long pants." So I put on a pair of like
What time of year was it?
It was fall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I had these red pants or whatever they were like warm-up pants, whatever. But I remember the first time we played, first time we went out, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so cool.
We used to play Old Masters on Route 3 right near Rafferty Subaru. And that was a track just covered in what are the gosh, I'm having the chemo brain here. The gigantic birds, Pat. Pterodactyls?
Pterodactyls are a dinosaur.
Whatever they are on the golf course that fly south in the winter.
Geese
poop everywhere.
Oh, that's not
we had
good.
to maneuver it. But my mom was a golfer. She picked up golf in retirement.
Oh, is that right?
And so Mom, that was for Mother's Day. She loved to play. I'd take her to Old Bastards and then take her to lunch. And she enjoyed getting out there and swinging the clubs, having a good time. But the first 18 I ever played was Paxton Hollow in Broomall, which is a great track. It is in incredible condition now. Paxton Hollow back then wasn't in as nice a condition when I started golfing, but it's awesome. It's a great track.
That's cool.
Pat, where was your first 18? Was it with us?
Cindy, Stacy, Veronica, Megan, and Ralph, I think was his name.
Ralph?
Yeah.
What was
Russell.
this?
Russell was his name. Yeah.
What was that?
High school, college.
So really, I mean, so you listed your 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but what about golf? The first time you played golf was with us.
It was not with you guys. No,
it wasn't?
Don't flatter yourselves. No. Went out with one of my uncles, and I was told years later that he came back and said that was the longest 18 holes of golf he has ever played in his life. Because I was looking for my ball and didn't want to give up on it. Balls are valuable. So
okay.
Yeah, it wasn't enjoyable for him. I would say it's still not enjoyable for many people.
I like golfing with you.
I think you're a very good person to golf with. You are not a slow golfer.
Well, I tell myself I like it, and then I get out there and shank the first ball into the woods.
Yeah, but you're okay. As long as you play with people who laugh and are positive with you.
Yeah, I'm the locker room guy.
I try to keep you positive out there.
Yeah, you do a good job. You do a good job with that.
Keep you positive.
We rarely will use my ball on a scramble, and if you accept that, you're good.
But we did on the one scramble. We did use your ball once.
I'm usually good for one ball, a scramble, where it's like, wow, you three really crap the bed. I guess we'll use mine. And then I'm the guy that threw himself on the grenade. Like when you need a line, I'll be the first guy to try the putt so everyone can figure out the line.
Yes.
Good man.
By the way, I had somebody texting, Pat, is that if you're still looking for a partner, they're interested. So
who's that?
Chief Dan.
I bet.
Oh
no, I'm serious.
Jim
I'm not
from
kidding.
Souderton also.
I believe I have a partner now.
Okay, you do. Okay,
but and I have to text him today if he falls out.
If he falls out, the Big Chief can play.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure
he's big. You don't want to get the nickname Big if you can't hit it.
Big Dan by being my size.
You don't get to do that.
Or then it's just ironic.
We'll give him a call if that's the case. With the Eagles showing up today. So first day of work today. Tomorrow's first day of practice. But today's the first day of work. And I'm just hoping that Nick Sirianni is channeling exactly the same messages that he has said to members of the media as far as close the book on 2022. I don't want to hear anything about last year's Super Bowl. Like I really hope that they address it and that except for the week when they're getting ready to play the Chiefs, I think they should not talk about last year's Super Bowl. Give the press one opportunity with each player. You got one day. This is one chance to talk to us about the Super Bowl. But we collectively as a group will not be talking about last year's Super Bowl. We're moving on. We're turning the page. Now, Chiefs week, absolutely. That's fair game. There's reason to talk about it. There's stories that'll be done about it. But I hope that they turn the page. And really, because Nick Sirianni's talked about it, and I admire the strategy because I think that's what you should be doing.
Yeah, he said if there's anything that motivates you out of it, sure, maybe keep that with you, whatever it may be. If I'm a young player and I think about the Super Bowl and how great it was, and you want to get back there, yeah, I could use that as motivation through, a training camp. The drag of every day doing the same things over and over again. But no, continuously talking about it or anything like that.
Or making it a focus.
No, I wouldn't do that either. But there's some references that maybe you want to go to.
They had 28-3 on monitors in the weight room for the Falcons the next year. I think that was a stupid mistake. They thought it would drive them. I think it's just a negative reinforcement of something bad that happened. I don't think you do that.
Yeah, you got to be
reinforce
careful
positively, right?
Yeah, one of the first things I learned in coaching was when you send the players back out on the floor after a timeout, your last words to them are always positive.
Yes.
Or, you have a situation. Say a guy's taking a foul shot, tie game late in the game. You'll talk about what happens if he misses the shot first. If you miss the shot, this is what we're going to. When you make the shot, this is what we're going to do. I was always taught that. Send them out with the positive thought.
And two, to me, I just think that I was tougher on the team after a win than a loss. I tried to be if you were gonna, if you played sloppy and won, I would use that as a teaching moment much more than I would the loss where they took a tough loss, because I always felt like tough loss, they needed to be raised up a little bit. That you need to, at that point, that's when you step up and you say, hey, give him something positive to think about. And as Nick Sirianni starts and the coordinators start, this is a big day, because now it starts. It's real work. It's the real plan. They've mapped it out for months. I'm sure Sean Desai has planned every single practice of the scheduled practices. I'm sure every single one of them scripted out.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll make manipulations along the way. Brian Johnson has to, go and make a name for himself now as a play caller. And everyone's going to be watching that, because the offense last year was prolific. And you've got to be able to go on out there and keep that rolling. There's a lot of pressure on those guys. And it's going to be their first times as NFL offensive defensive coordinators.
Yeah, they're probably a couple weeks down the road in their preparation, meaning the coaches of
Guaranteed.
what they want to do, how they want to do it. I had a high school coach that mapped out every single practice by the minute, including we were.
How far in advance?
Well, he had a sheet with them every practice.
Okay, so every practice it was right.
Yeah,
exactly.
he didn't do it down the road.
Right.
It was high school, but I'm sure these guys have everything. All right, for 3 straight days, we're going to work on this, and then we'll break it up with this. I'm sure they have it mapped out maybe till the end of training camp. Now you have to make adjustments as far as, man, this isn't looking good. We have to rehash, go back on that, whatever. But yeah, to think that if anybody out there thinks that they're just starting today, no, this has been going on since the hirings.
You remember too when the first year when Bill Belichick came in, Pat, and Belichick said, I see a lot of what we do and what Nick Sirianni's doing, and how much he admired it. And I thought he was throwing a bone to a young player, a young coach. And it ends up that Nick Sirianni has a pretty good idea about how to practice.
I don't think Belichick's the type to just throw compliments around.
I think you said that at the time.
Yeah, I just get the sense that he's not a, hey, I'm gonna lift you up on Angel's Wings, to quote a great song.
Yes.
But
bear you on the breath of dawn.
Is that the next line?
Yes.
I'll pretend that I know that. But he clearly seems to have figured out so far in 2 years how to maneuver training camp. Now, hopefully it continues to year 3, and we no longer have to worry about it. When you talk to people that played under Andy Reid, they dreaded training camp, the two-a-days, the grind, how hard it was. I mean, and you saw it with injuries. And knock on wood, I mean, we haven't dealt with a ton of training camp injuries because Nick Sirianni's taken a more lax approach of more like, let's work on film and not necessarily, beating each other's brains in before the games actually matter.
And so training camp, first practice tomorrow, right after we get off the air, 10 o'clock tomorrow.
And we saw it yesterday and what happened with C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a non-contact injury. He had to be carted off the field. You just never know when stuff like that's going to happen, and you hope to God it doesn't for anybody. I don't want any professional player getting hurt. It seems the way Sirianni runs his practices that it's going to lend to less injuries than other teams, but as we saw yesterday, and thankfully it doesn't appear to be very serious with C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Those things can just happen no matter what.
Okay, say no injury. Did they say nothing that they can find with C.J. Gardner-Johnson?
What I saw on Twitter was there was no
damage.
I want to see if I can. I'll look. Yeah, no damage as far as the filming went.
I've never seen someone carted off the field with no damage.
Could have been, precautionary.
It has happened before.
It has happened.
Yeah, I don't.
Other
have a
than
name
Paul
for you,
Pierce for pooping.
Wow.
I mean, that's the only time, and that was damage.
Yeah, I mean
that had to be damage.
If I was in that situation, I think I might join them.
Get carted off?
Yeah, help me out.
I didn't understand.
I mean, if I stand up, everyone's going to know what's going on here.
Everyone's understand.
Hey, my hamstring. I think, and then you get the miraculous return. Oh my God, he's back! Is that Paul Pierce's music? It's great. That's ideal, right?
Because he didn't want to show the draw.
No one's expecting you to come back because they're. Oh my God, he's being carted off. He's wheeled out. He's not coming back. And now all of a sudden he goes from, oh my God, that's nasty, to, oh, that's gritty.
That was I know how gritty it was.
Yeah, the headline here is C.J. Gardner-Johnson didn't suffer season-ending injury after being carted off.
Thank heavens.
Per report. Yeah.
But there still could be an injury then.
Yeah, it looks like he couldn't put any pressure on it.
Okay.
They're optimistic the knee injury is non-season ending.
Thank heavens.
I saw somewhere where it said that the pictures didn't show any damage.
That's fantastic.
So I guess there's no tear or anything in there.
And I was proud of Philly Eagles Twitter yesterday, Pat. I don't think a lot of them took the cheese. I think the vast majority were, not wanting C.J. Gardner-Johnson to celebrate it, dance on his grave.
I got a couple people because I, tweeted best wishes, and I got a couple people that said, "Oh, this is karma for what he said."
Karma,
come on.
please stop.
I wouldn't be too keen on a place where my car got stolen 7 minutes after I got there. But, Philadelphia, we're a place that grows on you.
Nobody likes us. We don't care.
I think if he were to resign and he were here, we would have grown on him.
I think we would find a way to forgive him. And he doesn't have to, and I don't think his comments deserve that he has to be forgiven for them.
Lock of the century is because he's on a 1-year deal.
Yes.
If he ends up having a good year and signs with the Birds next season, lock of the century is I never wanted to leave.
I never wanted to leave.
That'll be the opening press conference. I never wanted to leave here. I always loved it here. Love the fans.
Did you see the retweet that was going around yesterday? I guess it was his agent when they didn't sign the 3-year deal that the Eagles offered.
Right.
And signed the 1-year deal guaranteed that Detroit offered, kind of putting down the Eagles. Oh, what's better, 1 guaranteed for 11 or 3?
He put that out after he signed initially.
Right, but they retweet. It was retweeted out yesterday. Like, oh, this aged well, didn't it? I'm not a fan of this aged well stuff, but that kind of did.
He fired him, right?
I don't know.
I don't know if he did.
Oh, he didn't. I
don't know, but I mean,
if he
it didn't work out well.
It was really not a smart man.
Oh, he botched the situation.
He botched it terribly. He overplayed his hand, thinking the Eagles were going to blink. And the one thing I would never do is play poker with Howie Roseman, because Howie Roseman's really good at it. He knows how to. He really does. He knows how to do things. He's brilliant at it. He'll wait you out, and he's going to win. Phillies play the Orioles tonight. Taijuan Walker on the mound, going for win number 12. And to use my Andrew Salchunas line, Gibby in his Citizens Bank Park return.
Nah, he's not Gibby anymore.
That's what. Well,
if he was a 10-year guy that
he
played
shouldn't have
here
been Gibby to begin with.
He shouldn't have been. But that's okay. If Chunas gives him Gibby, I'll give him Gibby.
Gibby.
But not now that you're an opposing player. You're no longer Gibby. There's no Gibbiness here.
So
no.
Mr. Gibson should be the way that Andrew would address
Gibson's
him.
Gone. And can I have a freaking lineup, please? Bryce Harper at first base and Kyle Schwarber DHing, and have all your top players in the lineup. Don't give Stott a night off. Don't go lefty right. Get your best damn players in the lineup when you're playing one of the best teams in baseball. Okay. Knowing you have Thursday off also.
I mean, seriously, they're so worried about rest with this team. It's like the process era Sixers. It's just ridiculous. What's the anger meter on Anthony today with the Phillies? You think he's do you think he's enjoying this journey?
I got to
with
tell
his team
you
right now.
if I just come back from Italy from 3 weeks and I had the time that he had and all,
he had a great time. It seems
you would think that your patience would be a little more. I don't think that way with Anthony. No, I think he's going to be ticked off when he comes in here today.
I still think Anthony's, though, he's smelling the football. He's smelling the pigskin. You know, even after all that great Italian food, all he's smelling is pigskin. He's ready for football season.
He can't wish the summer away.
No, he's not won that. Nobody wants that.
Anthony is that. Oh, God, yeah.
No, I know that.
Anthony
He loves the fall. He loves the fall afternoons. And he makes a really good case for it.
If he could go right from today to September 10th and forget all the other days in between, he'd do it in a heartbeat.
We are not going to let him manipulate the calendar like that, though. We still need a little bit more summer. That's Dickie Dunn's job today. The great Ray Dunn in for Tunis. And then Jamie and Tunis in for the best show ever as they enjoy themselves a little bit of vacation time, well-deserved. So you can check that out this afternoon on The Fanatic. Hey, support life-saving cancer research. Join us and our generous partner, Pump Man Philly, and make a donation today to the American Association for Cancer Research. You can do it at 97.5thefanatic.com/AACR because cancer research saves lives. We're going to have a fantastic Wednesday, including Adam Schefter joining us on the show tomorrow. We'll look forward to having Adam with us on Wednesday. And hopefully we're talking about a Phillies victory because this is a little bit of a bad streak and it doesn't seem to be letting up right now. That's what we're hoping for the Wednesday show. Hey, make sure you're with us tomorrow morning at